and then buy the things they need at town as we're off and running.
And we got
and it's first floor of Earth Cave.
Yeah, well, that's not anything anybody wants to see. You really, and not, and Commentator's Curse already starting. We've got white mages for sale. Let's hope there's a decent white magic. Oh, we got a Harm 4?
Harm 4, well, okay, so it's not so useful over at Earth Cave, but if they go up to Topher and find, like, a Topher, or March Cave, or an Ice Cave, Harm 4, which does to the undead the equivalent of, fade damage. That's actually a fairly useful little spell to have. Temper over there at the Black Magic Shop along with Quadax. If they find a Black Mage, Quadax will be useful early. Yes. And then we do see Pro Rings.
Yes, so Canaria pretty stacked as far as stuff goes. I mean, you've got your Pro Rings, you've got your Quadax, you've got your Temper. Heck, you know what I would do if I had the Harm, and I shouldn't talk about, but you got the Harm 4s. Check these spike tiles here because they are shuffled and we have better trap tiles on. If you see like maybe the Zombie D and Wiz Vampire tile, that could be pretty awesome to see with these Harm 4s. We're going to see our first spike tile. Nope. Guda didn't even bother checking it. He's going to...
They're going to go up and they're going to check the one that's over here, but definitely they need to check the Hall of Giants while they're here, see what the trap tiles might be over there. Because, I mean, even if it's a low-grade undead pack, they're level 1. Anything they can use to kill that Harm 4 is going to be useful.
Yeah, and those Cobras and Scorpions are on that Earth tile, and that is just not what you want to see. Ice
2 Cobras, and they're out. Cheese immediately leaves. Cannot blame him.
And a bunch of bull unrunnable earlier, too, and just money. Like, no one's happy about anything. Cheezinator's had enough. He's already he was already in the ship.
yeah, he's gone. He's like, no.
And enemy and imps with sleep. This is just obnoxious off the top. And the crazy part is that the encounter table is
welcome.
Yeah, thank you for that, Dark Moon. And we've got a Cardia and Topher, so maybe we'll see something going on. As far as the incentive locations are concerned, we do have our typical incentive ordeal and ice. We do have our same 2 loose that we've been running all. There we go, C-split. Just.
I want you to know that is perhaps the single most useless Cardia Isle I think I have ever seen. A Fear Potion, 120 gold, and a Silver Gauntlet. Like, that...
And Topher is Topher. Yeah. I'm sorry, Vanilla. I thought he was... Yeah, there we go. So we got C-Split and Elfland Castle. So
now, this is actually useful. There are undead that can show up here. Harm 4 those. Try and get yourself some quick levels if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Take out these zombies. I mean, it's not much, but it's something, especially if you're running a bunch of white mages.
Heck yeah, that's a good plan right there. I mean, you're going to run into some stuff you can't kill, but any levels you can get right now are going to be super useful. Get out of here, get back to town, maybe buy some silver hammers. Worst comes to worst, go try and kill Garland and, like, do something with that.
Yeah, and
the imps have sleep.
Yeah, and as of right now, it looks like Syraniss is going to go on ahead and head up and kill him a Garland, while Cheezinator is he is flying. We've got a Titans find over in Northwest Castle.
Now, I will note that finding Titan can be useful if you get the Ruby, because you can use them as a kind of a magical wormhole to other places on the map. Most of the time, though, when you find the Titan this early, you find the other entrance to Titan this early, and he's not useful for anything.
Yeah, and it looks like we got a seafloor coming out of Dwarf Cave, which leads to Tiamat. So we know where Tiamat is. We know that Warmech is required, so you can't just run in and throw Banes at Tiamat and pray for the best. You've got to kill that robot chicken first before you can deal with her.
But this is an interesting thing. That Bridge of Destiny right there is a very powerful location to know about, because even if you don't find any good spike tiles, the encounter rate on that bridge is the highest in the game. I'm not exactly certain what it is, because there are people that actually know the math on that, but it's really high in comparison to everything else in the game.
Yeah,
and the encounters there, if you get a good couple sweeper spells, you can get a lot of good experience with very little effort. You just hang out by the entrance, do some grinding, get yourself going, and then you're off and running.
Yeah, so I'm like checking everything out, and people are in locations. Looks like Cheezinator found Matoya's Cave, but I have no idea where he found it. Shadowwisher found, that was in Provoca, perfect. So Shadowwisher found Canaria Castle, which is in Matoya's Cave, so a lot of craziness is going on right now. With 4 screens going on at once, we're trying to keep track of anything. Guda just took a wipe on some ogres. Not even sure what really happened there, but that's unfortunate.
Ogres.
Yeah, ogres doing ogre stuff.
He's got they're white mages. Even if they don't have anything special, they still hit like Mack trucks to like a level 2, level 3 party.
Yeah, and it looks like we got a TNT find, dynamite find there from the king, but looks like, I know, every time. Cheezinator did not did not find Topher yet, therefore was not able to talk to the princess, and then just took a wipe on some sharks.
But now that they know where that Canaria Castle is, and they know where Topher is, because Topher didn't move, it's useful to them if they can manage to get up to Garland and take him out. That's another key item they can get from him to pair up with the TNT. Might just get them to a spot where they can start turning in items.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So right now, what are you doing? Like you've seen most of what the Inner Sea has. You've got a split. You've got Tiamat. That's pretty much all we know. I didn't see the marsh opening when Guda was down there. I don't know what it ended up leading to, or if it led to anything. So I guess at this point you're sailing out of here, right? You got places to be, things to do.
Well, I mean, personally, I'm not playing the sea because this looks awful. But
yeah,
I think for me, what it is I'm picking up some silver hammers. Honestly, I'm going imp grinding for a bit, and I'm trying to earn just a little bit of money because I don't know if there was any saving items at the item shop here. I didn't see any, and I don't see anyone using any. But right now, while I'm here at a town with very low, easy enemies, I'm going to bash some skulls and try and get something under my belt. Because wandering around at 28 health, no.
Yeah, we definitely had saving items. I just think that since all the chests so far have been like the lowest amount of money I think I've ever seen in like 6 chests, no one's been able to really afford anything.
So the runners beforehand were asking what they should expect in the way of a link for this seed, and we were saying, hour and a half, 2 hours once you get going. It's not going to be bad. Sorry, Speed Gaming. We could be here for 3 hours. Yeah,
this is going to be pretty bad. In the game. And the worst part about what I'm seeing right now is this encounter rate is allegedly 60%, but you wouldn't be able to tell from looking at Cheezinator's screen.
No, I think the hero run is very deep in the table right now. They're in for some fun.
Yeah, the only thing that we talked about earlier is we did see the Earth spike tile, but nobody actually checked the Hall of Giants. There could have been an undead pack in there that harm would have worked out for. And as of right now, I guess no one's been able to kill Garland because everyone's talked to the king, but I have not seen Sarah yet.
Garland has Blaze.
That explains that.
That's again why I'm saying, like, not that Blaze is going to help you that much against, or not that levels are going to help you that much against Blaze, but I still feel like just getting some smashy hammers and going to town on some easy stuff to kill, that, because ghouls have lit too, which is to kill that. Yeah, you need to be able to kill something. I know that the imps have sleep. I don't know, maybe you wait around for some gray imps or something you can kill, or some wolves. You gotta find something you can kill, because this opening is rough, and until you can make some headway one way or another, you're not getting in this at all.
Yeah, Cheezinator's actually doing the thing you're talking about. He's actually looking for those undead packs in Topher, and he's just going to go on ahead and take them out and try to get some early levels so he can finally do something against Garland. But if he doesn't get good turn order against him, he's just going to keep taking wipes, which has got to be frustrating for Cheezinator.
We have
and we've got a Cardia empty in Melmond. Perfect.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's even better than Melmond.
Washed Up 08 in chat was asking about what the undead are that are available over in, like, the marsh area. Not in Marsh Cave, just the marsh area. And if you could get the right pack, maybe you could do it. The unfortunate thing is that because we already know the ghouls have lit too, that's not exactly the most useful thing, and... Imps with Sleep are going to ruin that grind.
Yep. Poor Guda. Yeah.
So what would you do in this instance? Like, you see this seed. Aside from resetting it and letting someone else win, what's your plan?
I mean, right now, these shadows aren't doing too bad. These shadows right outside of Melman. Maybe if he can get some cabins. It looks like he got to level 6 on his white mage. Unfortunately, it was just one of them. But I'm looking for cities. I am checking entrances. You've got to find cities. You've got to find other cities to recruit other party members, to get other magic spells, to do other things. And we've got an ice cave entrance. I'm not sure exactly where Syraniss... At Marsh, okay, so that's where that is. Mm-hmm. Or at least the entrance to Marsh Cave.
Interesting note. I think off the power cycle, he was getting packs of R-Bones. And R-Bones, oh, he got surprised. If he could have gotten that pack with that harm, that would have been amazing.
Oh, now this is a good floor to see. Going into
Yes.
Titan's East, you get Sky 2, which is one of the more lucrative floors.
Oh!
And we got Floater right away. Oh my gosh. That is
Wow,
brilliant. Dude is
lead,
absolutely.
Oh,
Loose
please,
floater
get out
right
of
there. Get out of that battle. But he knows it's there, and it's
Yeah.
right there. So
Yeah.
he can encounter manipulate that, and he should be able to get that floater out of there pretty easily.
Guda, you smart man. Well done.
Dark Moon rolled this Czar. This does seem
That's
like
amazing.
a Czar seed, but no, this was actually Dark Moon who rolled this one. And he's gonna encounter manipulate, so he can get that floater and get in and out of there. Which, it's the only thing that really makes sense. So he can get in the air and he can really start exploring, and he can start fighting cities.
Bear in mind, this is, and I'm sure you know, but for the audience, this is not a basic progression or just simple open. This is extended open, which means there's a dock sitting there for them at the floater area, so they don't have to have a canoe to get over to the floater and drop it off and get their airship. He can sail over there right now and immediately drop it in for that sweet, sweet air pressure.
Yeah, these encounters, man. I'm watching Guda's screen, and he is literally going 10 steps every single encounter before he hits something, and I'm just like, that's rough. Syraniss is in the marsh areas, the Melmond area as well, taking some battles. Pretty low health, and Ogre kills Dizzy. Able to get away. Looks like he's going to make his way, hopefully be able to find... Nope, he's not. He's just going to take a wipe.
Yeah.
But he's making his way over there.
Yeah,
he's not giving up. He's going straight for it. So he's going to eventually find his floater as well.
Yep, which is good.
Oh.
That's one of the... Oh, no! Turn up!
Just
No!
Check. Oh, no, but that's not a room you want to see.
This hurts me.
I know.
The lit 2 ghouls may send him packing, so we may not have to worry about this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like what Dangwoo says, exploring is always kind of one of those things that, you take the gamble on. You want to explore, get down to the bottom, see where it leads. Unfortunately, we already know that the floater is right there, and it looks like Guda's in the air at 12 minutes, 39 seconds. He has found Sky 3, and if he can encounter manipulate his way around, he should be able to get some pretty good treasure. As Syraniss keeps going deeper, and we've got an Elfland. At Fire. It's finally nice to see another city.
Black belt. I mean, a black belt isn't the best warrior you can get at this moment right here, but that's still better than just, Squish City that we are suffering through right now. So over in chat, Starman0 was asking if this was an all-white mage scene. Up until about 30 seconds ago, yes it was. And then we have Tavern mode on, which allows you to recruit various classes from the different towns you go to. Unfortunately, the only town we've seen up till now was Canaria, and Canaria was packing white mages to go along with their forced 1 white mage start, so kind of brutal.
Oh no, Syraniss made it all the way to the bottom of that dungeon. It was Marsh Top, and now he's checking the rest of it out. I don't know if he's going to make it back in there and explore. He might think he's a little too weak to even open chests down there.
Here's what I was saying earlier. Now that we found Titan so early, we found Titan on the continent on the other side over at Ice Cave. Totally not useful to them. No,
not at all. So we've got Melmond and Earth Cave. What's he thinking? Guda's checking all kinds of entrances right now. He's the only one
which is smart.
Yeah, and Cheezinator is in the floor right before Mermaids. He's just making his way through there, it looks like. And it looks like Shadowwisher is making her way towards Titan's East. Let's see if she has save items and is able to check.
Kill the shadows. You've got there you go. Just do that. You've got the spells. They don't seem to have anything nasty.
We got a ribbon in Cardia, which is Sardis Cave.
Yeah, now that we know where the floater is, this is just us praying that everyone makes the upper right turn or left turn and goes and gets that floater, because it's heartbreaking when they don't.
Oh, she's going to find her floater. She's going to be super stoked to see this. She's right there. She's on top of it. Shadowwisher, that is a welcome sight right there, especially as awful as this early part of the seed has been going.
So Syraniss is turning away. I don't want to say if this is going to cost him, severely, because this is entrance shuffle. Anything can happen right now in the seed. Plus, we have a nasty Topher ahead of us. But those of them who don't go back and get their floater are definitely putting themselves at a disadvantage for later on in the seed.
Yeah, Cheezinator is in that dungeon currently, but he's made it to the bottom, and he's clearing out that bottom floor. I'm interested to see what he's going to do after he clears this. He exits out, and he's not going back either.
Oh, that hurts me. Cheese, no. So what that puts us at is 2 players that are going to be able to get themselves up and rolling with, no problem. Hopefully, Shadow's heading down. Hopefully, she's going to sail eastward. I think from here is actually the faster route.
What, going to Crescent or going to... Ryukon Desert, it's actually quicker if you go east, like you said. That's going to be the quickest way to get to Ryukon. If you're going to Crescent...
Down around Elfland?
Yeah. If you're going to Crescent, it's quicker to go west, because the port's further north, so it's kind of right there.
Well, we don't have to worry about the port, because the dock that we're going to is the floater dock.
Yeah. So far, just a lot of craziness is happening. I want to go on ahead and just thank the Speed Gaming for having us out. We're on numero uno, which is always great. It's always good to have people in chat. We've got Spellzap out there. We've got True Hero, Crab Cakes, and Dangwu all in chat, praising these racers. And Cheezinator going for the cheeky Zozo Melman grind. You gotta love it.
Hey, you find it, and you have the spells for the undead. You kill the undead the only way you can.
Yeah, you got... And Guda's going to try to make his airship into a ship.
I mean, we will talk about the fact that the Zozo Melman grind is a thing you can do. Normally, I don't do it because, I've usually found better stuff to kill at that point. But in this particular instance, this, first cycle is a Spectre Geist pack. This is the best grind they've found.
Yeah. No, I could not agree with you more. With the party, with the spells, and as of right now, we know that Cheezinator and we know that Syraniss are not going to find that floater, at least for the time being. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense in my mind to do that.
Oh, yeah. It's not the fastest grind. I was going to say it's not the fastest grind, but give him credit. He's getting $1,000 a pop for this at least. That's good money for him to spend at the towns that we do have access to.
All right, so a couple of things I noticed right now on Guda's screen. I've been watching it like a hawk because he's kind of been all over the place. We have found Ordeals, which is in the double top of Cardia Island. We have found Crescent in the grassy area, and we found Lefane in the bottom part of the double friggin' things. And there it is. The flag set that I can't stand is back just to torture these poor little ducklings.
What's that?
Oh, confused old men. It's right there. Look at them. They are not on their meds. They're wandering around. And of course, Guda's going to be just like me. It's going to take him all the way until he talks to the very last guy to find the thing that he needs, which is the rod. Of course, the rod really not something he wants to see right now.
It implies, if we follow the quote-unquote logic of the seed, it implies that sometime soon we're going to find the rod block level of Earth. That's what it implies.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily mean anything, because the seed, the randomizer doesn't really use logic when it places items. It just makes sure you can beat the game.
And it looks like Guda checked. We've got thieves here in Crescent, and we've got a crown for sale here as well for about 10 grand.
That's not bad.
We haven't seen Northwest Castle, so it'd be good to try to go on ahead and somehow manage to pick that up. The one thing is he did find Lefane, and he did not check the pub there. We do have Lefanish hospitality on, so he could have potentially gone up there, and there might have been a black or a red mage, and he could have opened the seat up for himself.
Yeah,
that's as far as black magic is concerned.
Chat was yelling at them about that. Go check Lefanish hospitality. Don't forget about that flag.
Yeah. So right now, he's going to finally check out this last Cardia Island swamp, and we're going to finally see what that is. I missed what Tiny was.
Yeah,
rod locked right there.
Cardia Tiny, as per Danglu, one of our trackers, is Gaia from the looks of it.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. And thank you, Danglu, for taking such incredible notes so that we can look like we actually know what we're talking about.
Yeah, thanks for that. And I'm assuming Guda did not check Gaia to see what was there as well? See what fighter was there?
It looked like a pop-in out to me. I didn't see what was there.
Well, that's unfortunate, but I'd like to go on ahead and welcome Elmarkin and Asher1611 to chat. It's always good to see you guys. As Guda's got a couple of thieves in this party, and he's going to go on ahead and take on this vampire. Shouldn't be too much of an issue with Harm 4.
Not with Harm 4. No, the thieves aren't going to contribute much to this, but that Harm is going to do serious business on this floor.
Yeah, Shadowwisher checked that Gaia location. It was a dungeon. She just noped out of there, and now she's heading towards Lefane. She obviously in the air as well, because she did find that loose floater that we all saw earlier, and she's going to go on ahead and check out the parts of the map that Guda hasn't checked out yet. Shadowwisher, I guess, not interested in checking that out either, so she's going to, I guess, make her way over to Cardia, where Guda is as well.
Guda found a couple of interesting floors on here. He's diving through right now, trying to get past the big looping cross room of the Sky Palace. But a little earlier, we found floor 1 of Garage, which usually has a good 10 tests to check. And if it hadn't been sitting behind the rod block, I have to think he would have gone and checked it. But right now, he's just trying to see what all is like waiting down here if he can survive.
Yeah,
Nope, there goes that. That was not a thing.
Yeah, well, it looks like Shadowwisher is going to show us that we have black mages for sale in Gaia. Finally, some black magic. We can make those quad X's do things. They're kind of expensive. It looks like she was only able to get one, and she had like 800 gold. So we can finally get quad X out there. We can finally get some tempers out there. We saw Elflin, but I never saw black magic there.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully there's something.
Yeah, I didn't see much of a check there at Elflin. They got the black belt, and I think they may have popped in quickly, but it wasn't for long, and it wasn't the black, it was just the white.
Yeah. So she's just kind of sitting there. You'll notice, especially during entrance floor shuffles, that racers will stop for a second. They're probably just checking notes, or at least looking at notes to see what's going on.
Writing some down, filling in what they need to do. Yeah, because this is a lot to keep track of, and if you don't keep excellent notes and something like this, you can very easily end up checking the same place 4 times. I speak from experience.
Yeah, and she's in Lefane. She's going to check our pub. We've got a red mage. That's huge. That's something that Guda missed because he didn't check Lefane hospitality. Red mages are big time. Being able to use those early black and white magic spells. I would definitely, at this point, have replaced all my white mages with red mages.
Yeah, with what we saw in the way of white magic and the fact that I think Harm 4 was slot 1, I would swap out my red mages or my white mages for red mages and maybe do 2 red, 2 thief for the time being. I think that's probably a much better party than what they've got rolling right now.
Yeah. Syraniss is not checking chests. He is flying through this area. We've got our Marsh split, which I think was also in Marsh, if I remember correctly. I think that's where Cheezinator currently is.
Yeah, we never saw anyone actually go past the top floor of ice, so the coloring is right.
Yeah.
Since it's greenish here, that would more than likely be Marsh.
And that is something that I'd like to mention that Dark Moon is pointing out, is that if you do have a hard time telling what dungeon you're in, it's typically the same color as the original dungeon. Like, you'll get those same kind of color schemes. So that's how we can tell just from looking at it that he is, in fact, in vanilla Marsh entrance.
It's a good guide. It doesn't always apply. Like, you can see, for instance, here, like, Ordeals is some of the... If you don't have a room that you can look at in Ordeals just looks like Ordeals.
Yes.
And some dungeon floors don't actually take on the color of the exterior. And then you get some weird ones, like, I haven't memorized what all the towns are colored, because we've applied a color to each of the towns to differentiate them. So there's some weirdness, but, yeah, it's a good first note.
Yeah, so as of right now, I'm seeing that Guda's back in Temple of Fiends. Has anyone killed Garland? Have you noticed a Garland death?
I have not. Well, plays Garland, and he seems like he's trigger happy and likes to go early. It's rough. Oh, they're saying Guda did.
Yeah,
so
Guda got the quad X stuff. He must have picked up either, and he's going to go ahead and talk to the princess. We'll finally find out what the princess has for us.
There's that TNT again.
TNT. And we've got a cube. Again, something he probably does not want to see.
We haven't found the cube block floor, but that again says, as we saw with the rod block floor, there's a good chance they're going to end up needing it.
Yeah. So right now, this man, Shadowwisher unfortunately taking another wipe to some man cats. You gotta get it right. The green ones are the man cats, and they're they're annoying. They're annoying in this version, just the way they were in the original game that you remember way back when.
Well, we still don't really have anyone truly beefy, so things like that you think at this point, oh, they could probably survive it. Not without them guys that can actually wear the armor they're finding. This is not happening for them just yet.
Yeah, Classic Gamer 76 pointing out what I just said. I mean, sorcerers, man cats specifically with their fire 2 spamming. Never big fan of that. And then of course sorcerers with their death touch in the original game. And then of course red gargoyles who also like to spam fire 2, which makes Ordeals really just a pretty annoying dungeon in the vanilla game. But luckily, you know, they're not getting that. They're just hitting hard.
That is the one nice thing I really like about the randomizer is the fact that you see a pack of sorcerers now, and they are completely deflated normally from where they are. As long as you turn off their like specific abilities and you shuffle them around, sorcerers don't seem anywhere near as scary as they did in the vanilla game because they normally don't get death touch. So they just kind of gently tap you with their fists.
Yeah. So it looks like Shadowwisher's made it through Ordeals. She's checking all the chests. All the chests appear to have a whole lot of nothing. So far, but we're going to see our first incentive location. We've got a bottle. We know where Gaia is.
Yes.
So she can make her way over to Gaia if she can make it through this spike tile. She is level 4, and it's unrunnable iron golems. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No.
There's no way.
I mean, as long as they do dumb stuff. What does she have on her black mage? Can she do anything with them?
Well, that Blizzard's going to take care of that.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
I feel so bad for you, Shadow. But this actually gets back to something I was talking with Guda about before the game, is the fact that, admittedly, we haven't found all that much in the way of magic yet. We don't know where a lot of the towns are. The towns that we have found have been high level and kind of expensive. But there are 2 spells, especially now that they have both a white mage and a black mage, they need to prioritize finding. Warp and Exit.
I think I just saw the first decent thing, which was a sun sword over in the armory. But go on ahead. I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Ooh,
you're fine.
Well, and then
there's our power gauntlet that's now an Aelit gauntlet, so they're probably hurting to see that at this point. Although, with the number of things that have been casting Lit 2 out of them, that Aelit gauntlet may actually be useful. But, no joke, it's a possibility. But, I have completely forgotten what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's what I get for cutting you off. I apologize. I apologize, commentary partner. I did this.
There are spells that you're going to want to have for the end game. You want your fast, your temper, because the fixes are on. You're going to want your lock 2, things like that that are going to make your Topher much easier to get through those bosses. But at this stage in the game, Warp and Exit are worth their weight in gil. You need those spells if you're going to be exploring an entrance shuffle. Warp
specifically it is invaluable. How important a spell like Warp is.
Yeah, it's great for the places you can use it, especially if you find like a deep split that you want to quickly back out to so you can explore the other side. This seed doesn't seem to have that much that we have to worry about that. Exit, though, is really great if you do a long dive, like we saw them do a couple times, or when you're in, for instance, Ordeals, and you want to just get out. Exit is fantastic in one of these kinds of seeds, and unfortunately, they haven't, as yet, from what I saw, found it.
Yeah, I think Exit's going to be the only way that I can see them maybe getting through that Iron Golem without like a good spell like Nuke or Fade or something like that, because Iron Golems they're nasty. They roll tons of Absorb. We have them clamped at 150, so they're going to roll high Absorb anyway. They're going to have high hit points, and they're unrunnable.
Oh no! Shadowwisher's repeatedly getting Jake Opered by that dragon.
Oh my gosh. But at least she got her ribbon. She kind of knows what's going on. She's making some moves. Cheezinator has found Ice Cave. I don't know exactly where he is, but he did find Ice Cave. I think it was in Crescent. Pretty sure that's the dungeon he's in currently.
Green, I believe, might be, yeah.
So we're going to go on ahead and hopefully see what this other incentive incentive item is here in Ice, because Ice and Ordeals are our 2 incentive locations. We do have 2 loose, and then of course all your typical incentive stuff is there.
Now I do want to note. I was just gonna say, this occurs to me. The Iron Goal right now is kind of a gatekeeper for that Ordeals. That said, when you're ready to do your grind, if you've got a Masamune and a Mage, or not Mage, but a Warrior, you can like put that Masamune into the hands of the 3 Sorias.
That's pretty. That's nice. That's the good stuff right there.
Yeah, that's because a Soria is worth about an Agama and a half, and you basically have 3. Oh, you have 3 of those there, so that's gonna be like 4.5 Agamas per tile grind, potentially. That might beat out the Iron Goal if they're kind of weak. Because that's the thing, like, the Iron Goal's worth a decent amount if you have the experience boost there. If you're really going to do a grind, you're committed to it with that Black Belt, that might be the way to go. One of those 2 grind tiles right there could be very useful.
Yeah, and the main thing, too, is you got to remember, we've got EXP, the scaling, we've scaled it down a little bit over the last couple of races. Right now, we're doing 1/5, or sorry, we're adding 150% once we get to 15 key items. So you got to have 15 key items. Luckily, we do already have the free ship and the free canal and the free bridge. So that's already 3 key items you're starting off with. But, I mean, we haven't seen very many key items. I've got a floater, an airship, a bottle, a crystal, a rod, a cube, a TNT. Looks like it's going to be a while before we even get close to that 15, so that grinding will go by a little bit quicker, or at least 50% quicker.
I don't know, that Soria grind, though, is tempting for me, even at just 250 per enemy. I'm thinking test the waters there once you have a couple guys you want to cast some spells with, maybe see what's going on, because if they're not too tough, and just don't tend to be, that could be a really sweet grind.
Yes, Syraniss, finding in that Sky 3 area in Crescent, found an awesome dual katana and ribbon in that top room over there.
Ooh, that's lovely. If you can walk that out, go get, like, just keep that one around for when you know that you're gonna be tailing when you find the tail. Tail changing over to your thieves into ninjas, and then suddenly 2 ninja parties sounds really nice.
Yeah, and it looks like Shadowwisher got her TNT and cube. She's pretty much unhappy with all of that find.
Yes,
because I know I would be. This room, man, this room is just messing him up. He keeps hitting these sentries, these big packs of man-cats and medusas. He just can't get through it.
Managed to finally get past so they could save and keep these around. Gonna get the double ribbon room here. Go back out and save again, because that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Surprise rock calls. Whee! Oh, ooh. Ow.
Yeah, the crystal leading to the earth. And we have not seen Elfland Castle, so that's pretty much the end of the line there for Cheezinator. And Cheezinator's wheels have got to be spinning right now, because I know he's not found the floater yet.
There's only so many places he can go at this point, fortunately for him. So despite having spent a lot of time like exploring everything else, he's getting to the point where he's really limited. Although, are we seeing a pop grind?
Yeah, it appears that way. I mean, if he can get some zombie dragons with those white mages, or zombie dragons, zombie bulls with those,
or zombie bulls,
zombie bulls, zombolls.
There we go.
With those white mages, he can maybe make something happen there with those harm 4 spells. But this is showing you right now.
Tell, I was just gonna say, you can tell the pop grind is no longer in our standard meta, because we're sitting there going, "What's that enemy called again?"
What is? And Syraniss, I gotta. He's trying desperately to get that katana, and everything is just. Oh my lord. Poor guy.
And the thing
is, all I can say.
He's not going to be able to use these. Like the ribbon's going to be instantly useful, but those katanas aren't going to be useful.
He finally got out of there. He finally got out. He finally got out with that katana and that ribbon, and he's like, "I'm tired of that room. I got places to be."
Like it's, even though it's not useful to him, you're our hero now, Syraniss. That was brilliant and well done.
All right. Oh my god, Guda found Forple and C. I would have pointed it out if it mattered.
Exit and fight at level 4, and... Okay, now chat can correct me on this. I believe slot 1 and slot 3 are available to the Red Mage at level 4, so exit in life may actually be in the cards for them no matter what party they're taking.
And then we've got Stun and Ice 3, so yes, finally, somebody getting magic. Somebody being able to get magic. I did point it out. Crabcake's pointing out the obvious here. That I did, in fact, point out the thing I shouldn't have pointed out.
Oh. That's okay. Oh, those heal pots are deliciously cheap. 13 gold per heal pot. That is easy to buy and smooth going down.
And it looks like Cheezinator finally found that Zombo pack, and I guess he finally took him out because he's getting out of there.
Yeah, as Crabcakes notes, it's a little late for that Zombo grind. I think he's just a little bit on tilt, really trying to figure out what to do and where to go, and if nothing else, he just needed some levels. I can't blame him for it, but that Zombo grind took way too long to get to. It's just not worth it.
Well, you got to think at this point right now, there was only one city available pre-airship, and that was Melman, which didn't have a pub. So he is like, he's at wit's end. He had to find some way to get his white mages to have health or to deal with anything. So I'd probably be freaking out at this point too if I hadn't found that floater.
Yeah, and that's the concerning thing. So after yesterday's seed, which for those who hadn't watched yesterday's day 2 flags when we were doing the Elite 8, that was an entrance without floor shuffle. And if you went around the Circle C and explored each of the dungeons in order as you got to them and did the full dive through there trying to look for your key items that might be loose or might just be sitting around, which I did because that's a standard meta to do, you ended up spending a lot of time not getting much of anything. Whereas, if you took your ship and immediately sailed the second you got the key items you needed that were available to you from the king and the princess, you sailed down over with the chime over to the Sky Palace. Floater was sitting there like first floor of Sky Palace, and then suddenly the entire seed opened up for you. It was a difference of a half an hour. And here we have those fighters sitting there at the Onrak town.
And so Onrak is vanilla.
I understand what Cheese was going for. Like, after yesterday's meta, you don't bother checking all the dungeons. You want to just try and figure out where things are and, like, hope you find a key item location within easy access. Totally get it. Unfortunately, in this particular seed, did not work out for him.
Yeah, and even with people like Shadowwisher and Guda in the air, I mean, they're still, like, struggling to get through certain areas. As Shadowwisher's finally checking out that C-split in Elfland Castle, she's going right. So we're going to hopefully see that one of these places got to get to somewhere, whether it be a fiend, whether it be mermaids, whether it be, a place like Northwest Castle or Sarda, as we're finding right now. So Sarda, we're going to find out what Sarda has here in just a second.
Adamant. Have we as yet found the dwarves?
We have not found dwarves. Yeah, so that's another place that we can find at the end of one of these splits and dungeons, where Guda is, oh my gosh, Arachnids with Thunder are just wrecking Guda's party. He can't get away.
I feel so bad.
And he's in that marsh split area, so he's noped out of there.
So,
and Shadowwisher,
we do know that we don't have lazy dwarves because both the Adamant and TNT are already in their pile, and they haven't actually found the dwarf cave yet. It's yes.
Oh my god! You know what's dawning on me?
What's that?
Provoca has to be canoe locked because we haven't seen it yet, so it's got to be in the waterfall or Ordeals location. That's just that. Why, Dark Moon? Why did you do this to these people?
I mean, I didn't know I was doing it, but I gotta admit, this is really funny. Like,
oh my gosh.
I didn't have to run this seed, and the only reason they got this seed is because they beat me. So they were jerks, and they get everything they earned.
And Shadowwisher finding Marsh 3 at the end of the other half of that split. And, Scorpion did Scorpion things, and she's like, I am tired of this, which I don't blame her. I'd be tired of it too. I'd be tired of all of this at this point. I just can't wait to talk to these runners after, 2 more hours and hear them just... Whoever wins this, it deserves the title of Duckling Supreme. Absolutely.
I'm honestly, at this point, this is looking like the kind of seed that could give some of our best players pause at this point. This is raw.
Yeah, and I want to say that that Lord Fizzlebeef might be running this off stream just for fun, So if anybody wants to check him out at some point and laugh at him, you can do that. But I'd rather you stay here and hang out with us. And it looks like we've got Elfland Castle at the bottom of that marsh split, on the bottom side of the marsh split.
Well, that's useful. We do have the herb we can turn in if this is the player that has the herb.
I don't think Guda had the herb because he exited out.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
At least he knows where it is when he finally gets it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like only Cheese has gotten that herb, has been able to turn in that crystal and get the herb. And wow, this seed.
Okay, for the record, I know Lord Fizzlebeef was going to do the seed. However, he is not streaming it right now, so we can't use him to get spoilers.
Yep.
This is brutally rough, though. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, at this point, we're basically seeing all the runners go over those locations that everyone else has seen. Until Syraniss and Cheese go back to that Sky Palace lurking over a Titan, they're basically just going to be spinning their wheels for a while.
Yeah, yeah. And Duckfire Bird pointing out, wait, entrance rando now? Oh yeah, yeah. That's what happens when you become when you want to become a platypus. When you want to be Duckling Supreme, this is what you have to deal with.
You want to put on your big kid pants, you're gonna have to play with the way the big kids do. And this is, yeah.
Shadowwisher finally making it back to Ordeals. I think she has exit, so she's going to get that bottle and hopefully be able to... Nope, she's going to take on that Iron Golem.
Did she forget?
I guess she must have forgot. Yeah, she exits out. So I guess she does not have exit after all.
Oh no! Yeah, that's one of those ones where you need to take the note for that. Not only mark down that Ordeals is there, but that you need to come back with exit because an iron gold trap tile is there. If you don't write all that down, you're just spinning your wheels unnecessarily for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Cheese, apparently, from Cinema Bee, one of our 3 trackers running the seed with us today, because this is a lot to keep track of. Cheese is the only one that has the herb, got it from Matoya with that crystal turn-in. And yeah, they're one of the only ones without the floaters, so they can't turn it into that magical Elfland location. So it's gonna be a little while.
Yeah, it's gonna... Whew. Wow.
I honestly, watching these players right now, I kind of think they're all a little on tilt from what this seed has done to them.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to think, like, now, as Shadowwisher and Guda, the people that have found the floater, they haven't made much headway.
No.
They have been... Guda finally checking this spike tile. Of course it's red ankles. What else?
The worst grab tile! Oh, because they hit like trucks and aren't worth anything for it.
And so hopefully he can... Oh, 4 hits for... God! Why?
No!
Turn order! Oh,
sandworms!
That's a good thing to see. I would be super stoked to see sandworms. Sandworms typically don't really have a lot going on. They give massive experience points, and that would be good as long as they don't hit hard, as long as he can get some decent turn order and actually get to the tile.
Yeah, if they're... I can't remember. Are the red Ankylos going to be blocking the path down on the south side as well? Or is there a tile that's a little easier to get to for that sandworms? Or is he going to have to go through red Ankylos no matter what?
He's got to go through those red Ankylos. There's no way around it. Hopefully he at least has exit and is able to exit out once he's done with his grind. Maybe grind up his white mage or whichever one has exit. And Cheezinator was able to turn in that herb, and we've got a loot. So that is important. That ice cave is required, the crystal that leads to the herb that leads to the loot. And Cheezinator's going to show us the top of this marsh split here. And what did the sandworms have? I missed it.
They had a poison, but and I think like a low-level spell, but it was just enough that between the first hit against the black mage and then the spell following it up, he didn't stand a chance. He was immediately wiped away. Oh, God. He made it, but only with one of them. And yeah, no. Sandworms had cremate, yeah, so it was a low-level fire skill.
Yeah, I mean, with the 2 ribbons that we know we found, maybe it's viable, maybe you can do something with it. It's better than them hitting, I think, when you have the ribbon on, but still, I hate to see that. It'd be a good solo grind when you're there, when you're ready for it. And Shadowwisher back in her boat? Oh, I guess she's going to the Onrack location. Maybe she's thinking that, progression's got to be an Onrack somewhere, and she had to get back in her boat in order to get over there since we don't have a canoe. She's going to be sorely mistaken, because it's just Onrack.
She'll get to see
Onrack. Yeah. Looks like we found Lich at the top of Marsh, so we're going to get our first Fiend. Cheezinator doesn't have the...
Ironically, the one person without the floater is the one that's actually making the most progress right now.
Yeah, and Lich going vanilla and opening up with Ice too. Yeah, that Sun Sword should do some damage, because I think Sun Sword does more damage to undead, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it does. With weapon fixes on, Sun Sword will do actual extra damage against the undead.
Now, we talked about clamping earlier. All bosses are going to be clamped to 200%, so Lich is going to have somewhere between
100 to 200.
Yeah, 100 to 200. So it's going to be somewhere between 400 and 800 hit points. So the median hit points, or the average hit points he'll have is going to be around 600, as Guda finds Carrie somewhere.
That's our third Fiend, and it's at the purple area. Purple Elfland?
That or... I don't know, but Carrie hits like a truck, and throwing out a Quadex. Quadex is not... Oh, no, it's in Volcano.
Volcano's red normally, but for whatever reason that was showing up purple. That's a weird... That's, again, the thing you can't always trust the color.
No, I don't... He was there, though, because I have Volcano marked down as Elfland, so he must have not saved in front of whatever dungeon that was.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Perfect. Well, we do at least know where 3 of them are, even if we as commentators don't.
Yeah.
But that's something. That is something. It does... I'm not seeing the orb checked off on Cheezinator's side, because I was looking at that awful Gary fight for a second. I missed whether or not he was... Okay, he did get it. That orb is now lit. I saw it in his menu. So good, he is the first one on the board. Despite not having the floater, he's actually technically in the lead.
Yeah. I mean, he made pretty quick work of Lich there. Lich wasn't too nasty. I mean, that Ice 2 and the Dark Spell came out, but I didn't really see anything else going on. And he rolled about the average. He rolled somewhere around that 600 mark. And these Arachnids, man, are just ripping through Guda. Oh my gosh. Going ahead. Thank you, Cinema Bee, for throwing it out there. Going ahead and follow these runners.
They are putting on quite the show for you today.
They're putting up with something.
Still waiting for Cheezinator to find the proper sky floor to explore.
Yeah, so he's going into full clear mode, and we've got Bahamut's Cave, Bahamut's Cave, I guess is what you call it, down in Gaia.
Top floor of Bahamut?
Bahamut in general.
Okay.
Like Bahamut, like the dragon guy himself, is at the bottom of Gaia, hanging out. You just got to find some tail for him. He'll turn you into adults.
Oh god, that is an awful trap tile right there for this party.
Yeah. But at least he was able to get through it. He's going to go on ahead and get past that cube locked room, Syraniss is. And we're gonna finally see some new areas of the game.
Earth floor treasury, fourth floor.
Yep. There are a couple of spike tiles in there. He could check if he wanted to. I wouldn't. Not with that. No.
I don't know. I think I would at this point. I want to know what's available to me, because this has been a whole lot of nothing, and I need something.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not really sure where he is, because unfortunately I didn't check the entrance he went into. There's only a few places he could be. I've got to assume maybe like Crescent or something. I mean,
at a certain point, you've got 4 players going in 4 very different directions, 2 of whom have like the airship. Like you're sitting there going, okay, I don't even know where they are anymore. I just know what they're at right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm lost at this point. I am trying my best to call this. It's going to be insane. We've got herbs and Matoyas and ordeals happening.
Well, the delightful thing for Syraniss there is trolls being trolls, backroad the same white mage twice in a single battle, and killed it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Syraniss just went on ahead and bypassed both of those spike tiles there, so we're not going to actually ever see if maybe the eye was there. We don't know. Triple Eye could have been there.
Yep.
We'll never know.
And usually the eye rolls low. I mean, even when it
Yeah, we
rolls
got
with good
mermaid.
health, it still rolls low.
That
so
is-
he's checking out mermaids.
I mean, if the loose item's here, then that's fantastic. Otherwise, you're really not too terribly excited to see mermaids, at least this late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good to see mermaids like in Canaria Castle, because then you can get a bunch of stuff, you can have money, pick up things in Canaria, but at this part of the game, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it pays off for him. Hopefully like I said, the other loose items down here. The floater was down here last night.
Yeah, so since we are seeing mermaids, we already know, but from the yellow color, we can tell that he's in Earth Cave.
He is in Earth Cave.
Mm-hmm.
No, Earth Cave is Melmond. At least that's what I have listed here.
Dang it. Okay, you see, I'm not even going to bother paying attention to the colors at this point. It's just...
Well, no, maybe he's at the bottom of that. No, the bottom of that Titan's East was Marsh Top, so I have no idea where Syraniss is.
I know we saw it early, so it's got to be one of the early entrances. We're just going to go with that.
Yeah, we're going to say that. We're going to say it. And he found a whole lot of nothing in mermaids. And there it is.
Wait for the reaction.
We're finally finding...
Long pause.
Long pause.
Just
Very
like, long pause.
He's like, come on.
That is exactly what we were looking for right there.
But the good thing is he doesn't have to check any of those other locations that he's already full cleared. So hopefully he'll be able to make a beeline through some of these other areas that Shadowwisher and Guda have checked.
See, at this point, though, this is the ironic thing about it. We were commenting for a while there that because Cheese and Syraniss didn't find the items they needed, that they were, the floater, that they were kind of behind. But it's hard. Guda and Shadow have really made much progress at this point. They've spun around for a while and found some classes, but they haven't really done a whole lot.
And Asher... Sorry, I have to interrupt you because Asher's pointing out in chat that something that we both missed. The second loose item was found in bottom of Earth 4. So good thing that Syraniss did come back out of mermaids, not reset out of there, and check those 3 chests down there because he found our second loose item. So Syraniss is in what... He's not really in no mode, but he knows that if he can just make it to the incentive locations, he'll get everything he needs to finish the game. Now, it's just getting there is what we need to know.
Well, and the thing is, this gives him a spot that no one else so far can actually go check. Because he can actually go and explore the Sky Palace.
And Guda's about to get the bad news here, too. He's going to hit it. He's going to go, oh, son of a... And then he's going to stare at his screen for a second. He's going to do Quad X, which isn't going to work because it doesn't work on golems. And that's going to pretty much be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, golems are clay. They're not real living things, so Quad X doesn't actually work on them.
They're essentially undead without being undead.
Yeah.
Because Quad X doesn't work on the dead at all.
Yeah.
Which is one of those reasons why, despite the fact that Lich can very often roll below 300 health when we're playing without... in this particular, that particular spell is never going to work on it, even if you would hope it would.
Yeah, it can't even 3 and 256, it just cannot hit.
Yeah, no, that's a selection of spells that are basically on or off.
Almarkin pointing out something. He's in Canaria Cat. That's where this has all been going down. We never saw past Earth 1. So that's where he's been. And he's trying desperately at this point to walk out that chime. So mermaids was in fact in Canaria Castle. You just had to go through 8 floors to get there.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where knowing that exit is basically floater locked. He'd be able to easily get it out if he just would have gone and gotten that floater. No,
Syraniss, why? Why did they have to be unrunnable? That's got to be heartbreaking. I should point out, I rage quit. I mean, and that's the chime. Oh, he's out. He's going to go do something else. Hopefully he can find that floater.
He knows where it is. The second he can get his floater and he can get exit, I'm sure he'll make that dive again, beeline right to that chest, and then be done.
Yeah, that hurts my soul. And I was thinking to myself as he made it back to that Earth 1 floor, I was thinking, gosh, I really hope he doesn't hit those stupid arachnids. And sure enough, not only did he hit them, but they were unrunnable. And good Lord.
Sortiso is asking, what is the Duckling Derby over here in chat?
Go on ahead and do it, Dark Moon. Tell him.
I will do. So, in the Final Fantasy Randomizer community, our new players are called Ducklings. And basically, the Duckling Derby is we have a bunch of our Ducklings that have been playing for a while, getting their practice in, getting their little flippy flappies all wet in the Duckling pond, and now they are ready to graduate. We played a play-in race on Sunday. We had, of those, 8 players made it over to our Elite 8, which we ran yesterday. And then today, we are now running our final 4. All 4 of these players have become platypi. They are no longer ducks. They are among our experienced players. And this is the final test for them. A no-holds-barred 4-way race to see who gets to become the platypi supreme of these 4 players.
Yeah. And I have to point out the obvious here. I'm thinking this bottle's got to lead to the canoe. Otherwise, that chime leads to the canoe.
One of 2. There's just not that much left on the table.
Yeah, there's really not a lot going on. There's a ton of fetch quests we haven't done. We haven't seen Waterfall. We've seen the vendor item, which was the crown. We haven't seen Northwest Castle though. So there's still a lot going on. It's got to be canoe locked.
It's canoe locked.
I'm thinking this.
Well, here's what I'm thinking is, essentially one way or another, Bottle is going to lead to either the canoe or Oxyale, or they can lock that chime out, and that chime is going to lead to.
Ooh, it's got to be the chime now. We already know it because the bottle led to the massa.
Okay, which is great to have. Don't get me wrong; those iron goals will not stand up very well to that Mazamoon, but that basically means that chime has got to have like Dwarf Cave or something in there that they can then go turn some of those other items into to get the canoe. There's not that much left it can be.
Yeah. So as we see, the tiny fairy goes on ahead. She comes out. She goes to the bottom of the water, and instead of pulling out an Eepee like in Final Fantasy V, she pulls out a Masamune.
Lady in the Lake was packing heat.
Yeah, she was. Cheezinator looking, just walked right into that dungeon and was like, "No, thank you," and is going to go on ahead.
The Wizard Trap Tile in Marsh apparently is the EXP Pinata that we like to call it, the Gershurk Big Eye pack that's worth a lot of experience.
Yeah, if you can actually get through them with the clamped enemies. Yeah, he doesn't even want.
He can't do anything with it right now, but once he goes and turns in that bottle eventually, when he gets it, so that he can get that Mazamoon, that is a great tile to know about. Because the Big Eyes and the Gershurks may be able to stand up to one Mazamoon hit, but you pack it up with a couple of, like, Black Mages casting ice or something, they'll fall down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So what I'm thinking at this point, we already know, based on what we've seen, progression is at the bottom, is in that Earth 4, at Canaria. It was Canaria the whole time, and like I said in chat earlier, it's chime. It's always the chime. So we know that the chime is going to more than likely lead to something. It's going to probably lead to something like either Northwest Castle. It's going to more than likely lead to Dwarf, since we've got both the TNT and the Adamant. And that's going to eventually lead to like a crown or something else. The key, maybe, that we can get to key locked Canaria and find something there that we need that leads to progression.
So right now on the table, we know we have the Mazamoon and the Vorpal and the Sun Sword. That is a really nice collection of weapons, especially once you get yourself class changed. That supports, and 2 katanas. That pretty much supports any kind of build out of warriors you want to do.
Okay, so Aries at the bottom of Lefane. I'm thinking that's where Cheezinator is currently. Cheezinator's going to check these 2 spike. Nope. Badmen, that's not the spike tile you want to see on the Agama tile. And Badmen are just beating the crap out of him. It's really nice of him.
If he has life, which he did get from Elflin, that is not the worst thing. Lib will use some of those cure spells, and he's back up and running like nothing happened.
Yeah, the shop item was in Crescent, which is grassy, so that is, again, floater locked. answering chat there.
And apparently nothing over there at the red D chest, because Cheese immediately exited out and didn't want to bother with Carrie at this point. Can't say I blame him.
Yeah, at this point with his party, and clamped Carrie's going to have somewhere between 600 and 1,200 hit points. I don't know.
Yeah, without the Mazamoon to back that up. Well, did he get the Mazamoon? No, because he doesn't have the bottle.
Nope.
So yeah, without that Mazamoon, not worth it.
Red mages are in fact in Lefane. Yes, Asher. And somebody's at Waterfall. Guda has found Waterfall. I don't know where Guda is, but he has found Waterfall.
This is worth pointing out. You maybe look at this waterfall going, I don't remember Waterfall looking like that. For those of you who are not familiar with it, we have 3 different dungeon floors that can be procedurally generated. It's something that the developers are working on. Waterfall is the one trustworthy one. It generates nicely. Robot gives the key. That's lovely to find.
Yeah,
it generates nicely. Waterfall's fun to explore, and then it's going to be random every time you come in here when you generate a new seed. 2 other ones that we have that we don't tend to use, the Earth 1 and Earth 2, are a little buggy and aren't always completable, so for things like this where we're doing official rounds, we will not use those, but Waterfall is fun to have procedurally generated.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I like the procedurally generated waterfall. It makes the game just a little bit more random. Robot gave out the key, by the way. The key, so he can go on ahead. He knows that Canaria Castle's in Matoya's Cave. He can check that Canaria lock because that is our only other incentive location. And he's going to pop in there. And hopefully, I misspoke, and he can actually he can get there and get that get a canoe out of this whole situation. That's what we're hoping for, anyway.
And yeah, Waterfall was over at Titan West as per chat. So that's a really nice one.
There it is.
And yeah, and the tracker. There's the canoe. We knew it had to be coming up sometime soon. There were not that many options left of them.
Yeah, so the chime is not the answer. It was not the answer. We got it. I mean, it could be the answer later, but it wasn't the answer this currently.
No, and we already got the cube out of the way. We got the rod out of the way. Don't need the ruby. Bottle, we already know where it goes. I mean, basically what we're left down to is trying to figure out, like, where to turn in the crown when we finally find it. Where to turn in the tail. We already know where to turn in the tail. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of blocks left. Oxyale and crown and a couple of others. There's just, no matter, even if we find a lot of places to turn stuff in, there's not that much left to do. Shadowwisher is now making her 3rd attempt at ordeals. Hopefully this time she has exit. We're all pulling for you, Shadow.
Yes.
So we got Cheezinator up in Lufane. Looks like he checked out the pub. I didn't actually get to see if he had a red mage because I was looking over at Shadowwisher for a second there. Meanwhile, Syraniss is over in Volcano that leads to Elfwood Castle. Doesn't have the herb, doesn't have the key, can't do much here right now, but it's good to know. You can see him writing down some notes. Meanwhile, Guda is over here at the inn at Onrak. Gonna see what he decides to do, which is walk away because he doesn't have the Oxyale. So that's another block for him, but he can actually come up here, finally show us what's over at the waterfall.
All right.
You back with us?
I am back with you guys.
Canoe blocked Provoca. Isn't that nice? Life 2. Oh, that is lovely.
Canoe blocked what? Provoca?
Canoe blocked Provoca with Life 2 in the first slot. Not that it matters. Level 2 slots are available to anyone that can cast it, but that is huge.
I'm assuming that is Waterfall location?
Waterfall Provoca.
Yes,
Finally.
And then we do have a flag on here. He did not save before going into this battle. Pirates can be unsafe. They can roll things. They can roll nastiness, but unfortunately, it does not look like the pirates are going to do anything except fall into cracks.
I mean, fortunately for Guda. Unfortunately for everyone in the chat who is rooting for him to, like, pay for his hubris.
And it looks like we got some cake strats happening right now.
So, he smeared chocolate cake all over the arena, gets the slab for his troubles. Go turn that in over at Melman. Yeah, I'd follow the path at this point. We've got Asher right now asking what if the pirates are like arachnids. Unfortunately, the pirates are one of those encounters that we can't swap out. I think they're actually trying to work on whether or not they can like shift around, shuffle Astos and Garland and the pirates together into a pool. But right now, the pirates are always going to be the pirates, and they potentially could have Thunder, but we already saw that on the arachnids, so the chance of them having it this time was low. So Guda's trying to figure out where he's going to go next. He has that slab. If it was me, I'd take it up to the Earth Cave Melman and turn that in. But he seems to be taking a leisurely fly path, and he's going to see... Oh, he's going to go over to Ordeals and see what the Ordeals area is now that he has the canoe. Meanwhile, if I had to guess, I think Cheezinator's over in the marsh area that had the Gershark Big Eye pack. He's at least trying to take this one out so he can get some experience, because seriously, it's decent experience. Checks chest for his troubles there, moves on with his life. Shadowwisher once again trying to get through the iron goals. You got a feel for her on this. And there goes that blizzard, and she's out again, and once more leaves. I feel so bad for you, girl. So for those who are new, who have not seen this randomizer before in action, we are doing our special Duckling Derby high-intensity flags here for the last day of this little mini-tournament. Some of the things that we have going on, this map is going to look the same on the overworld to what you're used to, but it's going to look very different once they start entering into dungeons. That's because entrance and floor and town shuffle are all on. So you don't know where things will be if you know the normal game. You don't know how things are going to play out. There's a whole lot of chaos going on for these characters or these players right now. Along with that, we have Tavern Mode on. Tavern Mode basically shuffles all your party members for you. You start off with one party member the way we had this one set up. They had 3 Forced Nuns and a Forced White Mage, because apparently I'm evil and I rolled this seat. And then when you go to the various clinics in town, the clinics have been replaced by pubs, and the pubs will have different classes in them that you can hire. So that's why you see very different party comps for these players right now. They've found a bunch of pubs, they're hiring each other out, they're getting their parties built, and they're trying to figure out how to explore this place with the really crappy characters they've been given. On top of that, Floater was buried in an awful floor to get to, and everything has just been trying to kill them left, right, and center. This has been ugly, start to finish.
Yeah, sorry, I had to dip out of there for a second. I'm having some technical issues on my side. I think we're going to go on ring game at Dangwoo to finish this show out for you there, Dark Moon, while I try to figure out what is going on my end.
Totally understandable. I was happy to have you in the booth, Gregley. Hopefully we'll be able to get you back for interviews if nothing else, and we'll welcome Dangwoo as soon as he steps in. Dang, you with us?
Whew, let me tell you, this has been an... Darkmoon, you are never, ever allowed to roll any seeds for me, ever. Like, really?
This is the second Darkmoon special you have gotten to witness, and they have both been wretched.
Why would you do this to them? Like,
I don't know. I didn't mean for it to be this evil. I wanted to be spicy, but this is like beyond habanero. What's it, ghost pepper spicy? This is a bit much.
I mean, these are just platypuses. Like, really? You just dump them in with, like, a crab cakes, the challenge seed? Like, come on now.
God, I know.
Yeah, I was going to say, these flags are already hard enough. Why did you have to throw this nasty seed at them? And, of course, the second I pull Dangwoo in here to cover for me, my computer starts working normally. So now I can...
Hey, you know what? We'll go 3-man. This is the way to do it now.
Yeah, I want to hear Dangwoo talk about this this thing. So go ahead.
Well, it's been interesting. So Shadowwisher's wiped a couple times in Ordeals, and the rough part about it has been is she's actually gotten enough charges for the exit on her way to the Iron Goal. So then she has to try and take on the Iron Goal. She finally realized it this last time, and she actually made sure to take a level or two, so she actually has the exit charged. So this should go a lot easier for her. Yeah, right? It's only like she's been in there a few times, but you know,
5. I've kept track. It's been 5. I feel so bad for her.
I do too, but you know what? We just kind of tossed her in the deep end here, and she's learning now. She's not gonna make that error again.
And I like just some of the nasty things about this. Like as Asher in chat is pointing out, it's an hour plus in, and Syraniss is still just level 6. Like everything is out to get them, start to finish.
They really are, and you know what's funny is those red anklos in that earth cave. Yeah, they can be rough, but you can kill them. They're decent amount of experience. And I just say that because we now have cake, but you know.
Yeah, I mean they're decent experience, and you totally could kill them if they didn't like ambush attack you and then pop like 3 of your characters down immediately.
Well, roll a thief in the top slot and get initiative. That's how I counter that part. Yeah.
That's not a problem, right?
Not a problem. No, but seriously though, this is a very good way to welcome them, I guess. Because let's be honest, I mean, as much as we all love to say Gregley rolled some horrible seeds, you know, the past couple days, this one really is challenging them and their ability to adapt. Now, it may be a little too aggressive in the department, but it really shows what these runners are made of, and you kind of seen it there where some thoughts are you dig deeper in a dive, and those are the ones that missed out on that early floater. Other ones cleared that area first, and they got the early floater. So it's interesting.
Yeah, this is a seed that very much rewards you for going in and checking all the chests while you can. You might die a few times along the way, but you speed run back down to where you were, and you keep checking from there. Because there were a lot of loose in different areas very deep, or off the side on the floor you didn't want to check. And then at that point, if you're not just going through and checking everything, you're kind of suffering for it.
And we found here that the crown, which was our shop item, led to the tail.
I mean, that's useful. That is, with what they have right now, if they're not planning on doing a black belt, I would turn that in immediately and just start making sure you can get all the spells you need everywhere else. Because we know with the Waterfall Provoca, Life 2 is available. Pop a fighter, a couple red mages, maybe a white mage if you're feeling saucy, and then like have Life 2 on everyone you want.
Yeah, it's very interesting also because with the pubs, technically what you can do is you can literally use one caster and have them grind up solo because they're going to usually have an easier time killing, something with a lot of mobs or a lot of enemies. And then you replace it with a black belt. And then bam, now you have a high level black belt and you're good to go.
Yep. Yeah, I think one of the recent seeds that we had, actually one of the ones on our road to SG Live that you actually won in spite of this, Caleb did that. He took his red mage down into ice and had the ice tile there, and he ground on ice with his red mage and a Masamune up to 42. Took the red mage over to town, swapped him out for a black belt, and because he could just use exit on the red mage, he didn't have to worry about walking out all those levels. Didn't have to care what was lurking for him in Ice Cave. Go down, grind, exit, good to go.
Yeah, it's a very good idea or to think about. I mean, we're an hour and 14 minutes in, and
one fiend out of 16 on the board.
We have seen Carrie though. We have seen Carrie, but she's in Lefane. That's right. Warmech and Tiamat are available. I believe that was in Elflin.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that despite the fact that we found spells like Bane, we're not going to see them go and try and take out Tiamat anytime soon, because it's not the Tiamat you have to worry about. It's the Warmech that's going to get you.
Yeah.
Clamped War Mech. That is
1,000 to 2,000.
Yup. He, for all we know, he could honestly be tougher than Chaos in this seed. The way that things are rolling, I wouldn't be surprised by it either.
I mean, I'm already terrified of Chaos in general. That's 2,000. That's 2,000 HP up to 4,000. Oh, yeah. The Kraken 2, probably one of the most terrifying clamped bosses. Maybe Tiamat 2, if she rolls pretty dangerous with a lot of hits. She can really wallop.
Well, and that's the thing with clamps, is any of them can wallop because they're not going to be any worse than they were in the main game, and some of them were pretty bad in the main game. This, like, with clamps on, they're just, they could be, honestly, absolutely wretched. Just about all of them except for Lich, because Lich is almost never wretched.
Now, this is an interesting thing here that I didn't see from the other people that went in ordeals. It's a cheeky check here. That is actually a mud gold trap tile, or a spike tile, that Syraniss kind of checked there. And a lot of people kind of forget that that is a unique spike tile there to check with these random spike tile formations.
Mm-hmm. And that is the thing, too, to remember. These are random formations. It's not just that they're shuffled, it's that you don't know what you're going to find. So that triple Soria tile we found earlier, that's not in the main game. That's a randomized one that just kind of happened, and it's fun, and it could be quite useful, but it's one of those ones that if you want to know where you're going to be grinding, you basically have to check every trap tile, and you kind of have to know where most of the trap tiles are at that point.
Cheezinator's making his way through the rod locked. Going into the not-so-mazed sky floor here. We got a slab translation by Guda.
One of the few niceties we did was we didn't turn on the randomized teleporters.
I think we should have.
Why not at this point, right?
Right? But talks to the kindly old king that was hidden, not only hanging with bats, but hanging out in a maze-like thing over in the air somehow. So,
he was very deep in there. He really did not want you to give him back his crown.
He really didn't, and then he attacked us, but he's gone, so it's okay.
It's just rude.
Really rude.
Really, really rude.
It reminds me of Caleb here. 2 games.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he's up by 2 on me.
Yeah, but whose fault is that? Him for doing it, or you for playing poorly?
I'm gonna blame it on Classic Gamer 76 right now. How dare you bring that up right now? How dare you even mention that right now? Randomized teleporters? Tri-states?
Tri-state randomized. That, honestly, I think that is the cruelest tri-state I have heard of. Because, it's just so mean.
You know what? I'm thinking we need to talk to Caleb and see about adding that into the SG live thing.
We need to make sure that the seed can be beaten in 2 hours, because that's the slot we have for the road to SG Live. We don't want to be there for 4 hours at Speed Gaming never letting us back again.
Gurmadusa spike tile, that's what we're talking about there. Those don't have a whole lot of vanilla HP there, so that's a nice grind tile to go with. Especially if you're going to replace a mage, that's a good one to go with.
That's one of those ones where we actually talk about grinding on them when you're in Topher and you're deciding to do a Topher grind on one of the side hallways. Like, instead of diving down to Lich itself, you just go exploring around and find, like, the side stairs that take you down to the Earth Force so you can grind on some of the enemies there. Gurmadusas show up in a big pack, and while they aren't individually that rich in EXP, together as a pack of like 6 or 7 of them, they're worth a lot, especially once you hit that EXP bonus, which, honestly, Cheezinator's got to be close to.
So we got our first round 2 battle against the Iron Goals. This is like a raid boss right now here for Syraniss. More tempers coming out. A blizzard comes out. Oh, takes out one of the Black Mage. I'm going to call this one because this Iron Golem is a raid boss at this point. Can Syraniss... Ooh, was that death? No, that was the death.
No, it was just a big hit.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, ooh. Come on, Rune Sword, do your magic. Oh, poison damage 2, perfect.
Ooh.
Give me more Iron Gold. Well, never mind. I was just kidding.
That was enough. That was enough.
Yep, I'm done. Okay.
Yep, nope. Raid boss wins yet again. I believe that it's now the 7th party of light warriors that the Iron Golem has claimed.
I mean, that was the best honest attempt we've seen on the Iron Golem, but
yeah.
Blizzard, damage poison, hits hard. Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, when Guda was in there, he just short-circuited it and exited, and I believe Cheese did the same. So... And I think even Shadowwisher did by the 5th time that she was down there. They're not worth fighting. They're just not worth fighting.
Not without a nuke or fade. And even then, with the spells that they had, that's going to be difficult. Although we have Guda over here, going to be taking on Lich here.
Be the second one to finally get a crystal lit on the board. I like his chances of this. I think he could do it.
Surprisingly, a lot of low health. Oh, the cake. Give it. Yes! Lich loves the cake. Falls into the crack. See you later in the next time loop, Lich.
I do enjoy my Lich with a nice vanilla frosting. He is a delicious cake.
Oh, let me tell you. The Gouda just made me smile right there.
Wait, if he's Gouda and he's using cake, was that then a cheesecake?
Yes. Makes me even happier. My grin just got bigger. Why so serious? Okay, that was horrible. I'm done.
So, all of our players are in the air. We had a question about that from chat. All of our players are working their way through here, finally making progress, finally trying to get through all this in this brutal hour and 20-minute scene with only 2 orbs lit so far. That's something to think about here is of 16 orbs total between these 4 players, only 2 of them have been lit. That is how bad this scene has been.
I wouldn't say it's bad. Okay, it's rough.
Oh, God. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Okay. You know what? I was just saying it earlier. It is pretty bad. Okay, we're just gonna go with that one.
I've seen worse. I've played worse. I haven't seen a lot worse where the clamping hasn't been turned up to like 300 or 400, but I have seen worse.
I do have to admit about this one thing here. As we're getting a Temple of Fiends lock chest here. Ooh, Mud Goals and Rock Goal.
I like that.
This could be good. It's a lot better though if.
Oh no, Syraniss, you didn't get your charges of exit.
Quad X Hammer. That's a good. That's a good magic item to have.
Yeah, that's not bad. Throw that on your fighter and just let him kind of do something with spells. That's not bad at all, honestly.
Confuse Banesword. The Banesword has been switched over to the Confuse Sword.
So essentially a wizard staff. It's a wizard sword.
Yeah. Not as useful though as the Game Clencher, the Banesword.
I love that title for it. Oh, so good.
So good.
I love the Banesword. I do. I think that's one of my favorites. Hey!
Iron Gold down.
Great boss.
With one light warrior surviving, he gets out of there as fast as possible.
You know, even if he knows he's not going to win this at this point, which let's not shoot him down. It's not like he's that far behind right now. But even if he's thinking in his head he's not going to make this, he is just effectively with chat won the scene. He did the impossible. He took down the raid boss.
Wins the hearts and minds.
Sometimes that's all you need to do.
I mean, if you really want to win the hearts and minds, fear carry. I'm just saying.
I saw you do that one time, and that was brilliant. Wasn't it carry 2 also?
No, I only did it on carry 1.
Okay.
But this is an interesting little tile here that Guda has found is the red hydras. These guys give a decent amount of experience here and relatively easy. So Guda at this point, I think, has a pretty substantial lead, I believe, in levels and progression-wise. So,
yeah.
Although Cheezinator, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, bear in mind that he doesn't have his 15 key items, and this pack of 4 against 4 Light Warriors with Split is giving almost 2,000 EXP. That is a huge amount of EXP to be getting from these guys. And continue.
No, that's a very good point about that. You know, it doesn't seem like it's as much experience as I thought it was going to be.
It's like if he only had one Light Warrior, if he could rock this with just one of them and they could survive whatever the Red Hydras would do, almost 8,000 without the 15 key items. When he finally gets that, you're looking at 1,200 for this if you can find some sort of sweeper spell, or if you can get one of your guys up high enough that the Red Hydras can't do much to them. Like, if you want to really do a fighter grind in here, this would be a great spot to do it.
He's got to be really close to that key item, so that's little unfortunate. But at the same time, he needs the levels anyway. So I guess you gotta take it while you can. You take it while you can for right now. Like he's getting, I wouldn't be surprised if he took this up to the 20-ish area. I don't think it's worth taking it much more than that because the EXP factoring goes way out of whack after that. But he's only at 12 key items. And I think if you take it to the early 20s, you stop worrying about grinding, because taking out the Fiends and then maybe a couple fights in Topher before you start digging, that's going to be everything you need. Yeah, nobody has made it out with the chime yet. This is one of the weird things is we found it once, and that's about it. And so we don't know what's there. Cheezinator about to take on Garland. Let's. Well, that's over. All right. Well. Oh, and there it is. And he's gone. Second of our players, I think, to actually take out Garland. And the vampire speed, or the vampire shaped speed bump was also been defeated by Syraniss. So. I'm seriously going to laugh if the hardest boss we ever find is that Iron Golem. Anything's possible at this point. It is. Ooh. Naga giving Syraniss the business there. The fighter down. So this is going to put Cheezinator at 14. The second he finds any other key item, he is getting his 150% EXP bonus, and then he's good to grind anytime after that. So if he decides to go and do the chime next over at Matoya, if he decides to go and dive it and search for the chime, that is going to be the thing to do for him. Or I guess it wasn't Matoya, it was Canaria Castle, but... So the canoe for Cheezinator, looking pretty good here. Where does he go at this point? I think he goes to Waterfall area, hoping it's Provoka. Or he proves me wrong. Okay. Right. He's gonna do the... Oh, he's gonna turn in... Does he have to slap? No. Is he just buying random stuff and making me confused? Yes. No, he's just proving that he's really rich. He's buying those gold bracelets. I don't know, at 1,200, that's not, like, super expensive. That's middle class. Well, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, you know, he's still gonna spend 40,000, 44,000. He decided to go in and sell that wooden shield to get that extra 1 gold he wanted. It wasn't worth it to him to just drop it. He wanted to sell it. All right, Guda. I'm hoping now you have the fear shirt. Let's see you use that shirt to the max effectiveness. Let's make the carry run. And I'll be happy. Well, he made his thief eat dirt, so that worked. Perfect. Yeah, those cake spells aren't going to be so useful to you when you can't cake waters. It can happen. 3 and 256 says there's a chance. I didn't realize that they actually curl. I thought they were totally immune to it. There's nothing that's perfectly immune. Not to cake? To any spell. No, except for Quad X. Quad X and a couple others that are on or off for 300 health. There's a small selection of them. Yeah,
he found the Gurmadusa tile. Is he gonna take it, or is he gonna just? Oh well, they are stun touch. Okay, I can't blame him for that. Like, we've seen worse. We saw Gurmadusas of Death back in our spring tournament, but
do we dare talk about that anymore? It's
been a while.
It was a dark time. It was a dark time back then.
I mean, these were only stun touch. They weren't death touch with blaze, so an instant ambush. We all feel for Tristol that day. That was brutal.
Do we really, though? Like, I really like Tristol and all, but do we really feel bad about that right now? Come on. As fans.
Oh, it's funny. It's mean and funny, and I like it.
But, Dark Moon, what are our fans watching right now? What is that middle thing that says something about Final Fantasy Randomizer Duckling Derby? This
is our new player, well, I'd say new player showcase, but new player tournament. Essentially, what we in the Final Fantasy Randomizer community call newbies is ducklings. We have a little duckling pond. All our little new ducklings go in there. Amusingly, I've been in this community for a while. I'm still a duckling because I can't manage to graduate myself out. So we had a tournament to graduate a small selection of them that are ready to move on into the big leagues. And this race is, without a doubt, the big leagues. So the first day of the tournament was a very easy play-in race. The top 8 from there went on to our Elite 8 race, and the top 4 from there are graduated. After this race, they are now officially what we call Platypi, which is new pro players, and they will be able to go and play in the big leagues as they see fit. Not that, we really limit people anyway. And they get the cool Platypus title, and they get to showcase their skills here, one of which gets to earn the title of Platypus Supreme, and the bragging rights for having won this awful, awful seed.
Platypus Supreme. I really hope they get a tag in our Discord, by the way, because that sounds amazing. Platypus Supreme.
I think you can order those from Taco Bell, can't you?
Because I'm definitely going to tag them. I'm going to ping them every single time in Discord.
Hey, Platypus Supreme.
You want a race? But for everybody out there, the voice you're hearing right now, I am Dang Woo. The guy next to me in the broadcast booth is Dark Moon EX. He is the man behind many events that we do here. There is actually another event, or another thing that he's actually being that he takes part in, which is a weekly duckling event that happens every Tuesday. We are switching it out because we're doing the Duckling Derby today. But every Tuesday at around 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the Speed Gaming Networks, the Ducklings all come out, kind of do what we're doing right now, except for it's going to be a huge race. So if you want to come out, visit them.
After this week, we are going to start alternating between the Duckling seeds and some pro-level seeds, although probably nothing ever as bad as this. But yeah, we're going to alternate those just so that everyone can have some fun and get some exposure on Speed Gaming Live, but those are going to be Tuesdays. And then we also have right now going on the Road to SG Live on Fridays at 10 o'clock p.m. That is our weekly race between Dangwoo and Caleb, as they are playing back and forth to try and take the bragging rights title of best player of the particular flag set we came up with, all leading up to the marathon, the SG Live Marathon, coming up at the end of October, live from the Herndon, Washington Dulles Airport hotel, I think Hilton Hotel. The one where all the GDQs used to be.
And if you need any more Final Fantasy Randomizer, there is a lull in the action right now, so we're just kind of giving you guys a bunch of information. Every Monday, the community, the Discord, is actually holding a weekly event also that they're going to be holding, I believe, anywhere between 8, 9, and 10. They're kind of alternating between it, trying to get as many people in because of everybody's busy work times and stuff like that. So, but those are going to be over on Randomania. So, going over there and supporting them, and we're going to be over there too. You're going to be able to hear me probably broadcasting, and Dark Moon, I'm sure will jump in at some point.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, if you want more FFR action, we have it everywhere.
Speed Gaming, Randomania, I'm sure if someone decides to get us in with RPG Limit Break at some point, we'll be over there too. So finally find the dwarves. We got the ruby from the TNT dwarf, the explosive expert. I missed what was over at the adamant though.
Adamant was the Oxyale.
Oxyale! Okay, so that opens up the on-rack area, and that opens up the totally useless Titan who probably has nothing because we already know there's no loose in his dungeon.
But
So,
I would assume the Oxyale would lead to Kraken, since we have not seen Kraken.
and that's... I think that's honestly... It's gotta be... if dwarves were at Chime, then that's literally the only entrance we don't have, so it has to be Kraken. How fun is that?
Oh, and apparently, Cinema B over here, our tracker here, working overtime. We found a cure for weapon.
That. See, now that balances out a lot of the garbage they've had to deal with right now, because a Cure 4 item will pay for itself in spades. That is one of my favorite random magic items to find in this game, because there's just almost no situation where the Cure 4 item, whatever it may be, doesn't get you out of a sticky situation. I have survived many a nasty chaos with a Cure 4 item, just because of the fact that it can save your bacon every time. Oh, I got nuked? Who cares? I will Cure 4 myself back up to 600 health and shake it off like it's nothing.
Well, and the best part about that is you can now put it on, like, if you end up doing a solo battle against Chaos for whatever reason, a weapon with Cure 4 is a lot easier to keep than if it's an armor. Because weapons, generally, you only use one weapon and you get rid of most of the other ones.
Yeah, you throw the Cure 4 item on there, you get as many invis casts as you can across your party, so that your character can't normally be hit. Pray you don't get critical hit, and then you just basically hold A and pray unless you get knocked down enough that you need to Cure 4 yourself back up, and you just make sure you keep yourself slightly above 300 health no matter what. It's glorious. The Cure 4, especially with the fact that we have clamped bosses and we were so worried about how they were going to get through all the clamped bosses with how awful this seed has been, this suddenly makes the endgame seem a whole lot more bearable. Speaking
of that, clamped carry destroys the poor black mage that Guda has.
Ripped apart!
We got a couple tempo. Well, there goes the thief. So our offense has been slightly. Come on, Quad X. Ooh.
Yeah. No, that didn't happen. That wasn't a thing.
You know, Guda, I hear if you would have casted Fear, Carrie would have actually ran away from you.
She is susceptible to it. You have proven that. It is amusing.
But he's not high enough levels, so he probably would not be able to break morale unless he casted it like 8 times. So that would have been taking a little bit. The sleep spell is interesting to cast. The only problem is they get up the very next turn, or that turn in general, so it's kind of a waste, especially with the low chance to hit. Yeah, sleep is not very well programmed in this game. You'd think it'd be useful, it's really not. You're much better off, like, just trying to lock and fast your characters and blast them down before they can get a chance to hit you too much. Nah, I didn't exactly see what the white mage has on Guda's screen. Maybe that was his only option. But, you know, with the white mage having so much stuff, I would have figured the white mage would have at least had invis. So we'll have to see how Guda adapts to what's going on. Syraniss has finally translated the slab here.
Yeah, it's the thing of... was more than likely Carrie having, what, we estimated, like, 800 health?
It's got at least about 600.
So 6 to 12.
Yeah.
He's trying to get her down to the point where she can be quad X, which I appreciate. I think that's a smart move. Very smart. Problem is, you gotta get your Masamune to hit her, and she doesn't seem all that susceptible to doing much of anything. She likes to smack you, and then laugh. So, yeah.
And as I've seen there, Guda doesn't really have much on that white wizard, so it kind of actually makes sense to do that. I might have... So, Carrie at least has 872 health, because the thief did hit for about 572.
Oh, we saw the fear! He's trying... Oh, no, there goes that thief again. Carrie back rowed him first turn.
the fear I don't really like. I hate to say it, just doesn't have enough levels to make it useful.
Yeah. I don't think he has enough levels to do this dive. Like, he's tried it now. This is like his 4th attempt. And I realize he's probably feeling like he's got to do this. He's got to figure out where to go. There's only so much he can do. But, like, unless he's going to sit here and grind a bit, even with the levels he has, it's just the characters he has are not the best with. I appreciate the fact that he's been carrying this thief this whole time. I think I would have said screw it at this point with my low 20s, and I would have gone and gotten a fighter or a black belt just because the extra armor and other protection is so much better than whatever the thief has going on, which really isn't much.
The Masa swing, 4 hits, 280 with a crit, takes out the black mage. You don't want him to take out the black mage. You really want
The white mage.
Yeah, the white mage at this point, because the fear's not going to do a whole lot. White mage survived.
Wow, that's another round he might be able to survive.
300, so that's 500, not in quad X range still. Heal.
No, not at all.
I think we got a cure 4. No, we got a heal 3.
Could be. I mean, could be in quad X range. It's a possibility.
Now he might be in quad X range. We have done 700, almost 800 damage. Quad X. There you go, Guda.
There you go. Do it. Pray.
There you go.
Nice! Guda, well done. I mean, it wasn't exactly a mean strat. You fought hard for that, but I appreciate what you did there, sir.
That white mage was probably the MVP there. Took the shot from Carrie, granting him another chance where Carrie would not attack the thief, which allowed the thief to put him in quad X range. Yes, Amor 327. Quad X isn't. Well, it's not really an execute. Well, yeah, it is an execute. Yeah, any enemy that has less than 301 HP, so 300 health or less, and they instantly die unless they resist the death element. So usually most undeads resist death. Chaos also resists death. And Warmac, I believe. Lich is classified as undead, unfortunately. That's why harm actually works against them. Oh, and Iron Goals, yep. Iron Goals are also immune to it. But there are, yeah, anything that resists... Nuke is level 8 there in that Gaia slot. But our runners have to actually get to level 25 with their black mages to use it.
They have to survive long enough to earn that.
Right? Lock 2. Ooh, I like Lock 2 on these clamped bosses here.
I think, yeah. Yeah, no, Lock is one of my instant buys. If I see Lock 2, I will get it. If I see, I mean, Fast and Temper obviously are normal buys when you finally can get them. But Lock and Lock 2 have proven, because we have the fixes on for it, they have proven themselves to be 100% essential. You have a high evade boss, not high evade for long. And because of the fixes on Lock and Lock 2 hit every time you cast it, you just don't even have to think about it. You automatically cast it, you're good to go.
Yeah, it's really nice because there are some bosses where they have such high evade that with the low chance of it hitting, those bosses could actually become gatekeepers unless you get that 3 in 256 chance of killing them with a bane. Ooh, a Ruse Staff was found.
That's nice to have too. You put the Cure 4 and the Ruse on your guy, you basically have your defense sword and your instant healing. You're starting to get your Topher party pack built up right there. That is the starter set to get yourself right into Topher. It's brilliant.
And the most important thing about that entire thing is, like, what we talk about is that gives you a solo chance. A lot more so, like, a lot of people, when they did a solo fight, you know, if they had to do a solo fight, it was with a fighter because they could learn white magic. Well, now with this, they can actually do it with any class if they really needed to, essentially. You got Masa, you got a heal stick, and you got something to raise your evade. It's going to take a while, but you have a chance.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you get 3 casts of Ruse out if you can survive that long, which with the Cure 4 staff you should be able to, as long as you don't get instant hit. And if you get your Ruse cast off before one of the bosses hit you, more than likely you're going to survive that first round if you're the fighter. Ooh, nice Opal Bracelet. I missed that pickup earlier, so that's great armor there. And honestly, with the fact that he hasn't, like, transformed his characters yet, I would almost be tempted to put that Opal right on my fighter. He's not going to, but it's tempting to do it. And this thing is, you got the Cure to get yourself up if you get hit and get knocked down, but not get dead. And then you got the Ruses to pick yourself back up, or to pull your defense back up so you don't have to worry about healing as much. At that point, a couple rounds of that over and over, and all you're really worried about is what nasty spells might come out, and you're hoping that you don't get, like, double nuke before you get the Cure 4 off again.
Absolutely. Bottom left here, everybody. Pay attention. Guda taking on our first Lich encounter. Or Kraken, sorry.
Encounter.
Clamped. Kraken, yes. Wow. So, 800 base. Guaranteed. Up to 1600. Oh, and by the way, Kraken usually packs a wallop and has high evade. 1 hit for that thief hit on the first swing.
Uh-huh. Fire 2 is a little harsh to see, but I don't think he's too worried about it. He's got a ribbon, it looks like, on his thief, so it's chip damage against the guy that actually matters.
And I've seen the lock 2 instantly.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna have to cast it a couple times. Another fire 2. This is chip damage. It's doing a decent amount, but that heal 3 is gonna recover a lot of that damage.
It will. It's good. It's 90-ish normally that you get back. 3 hits for 134, I think I saw. Not bad. Yeah, get those tempers going back out. Continue with the evade, or the invis.
No, he's gonna heal. More lock 2 from the other black mage.
I know there's probably people in chat screaming that he's evading at this point, but that did the trick. All that mattered. You got through the fight, and you're now 3 up. That's given Guda a decisive lead here.
Really has. And he's level 19 before taking on that Kraken. I would attempt to do Warmech at this, just to try it, see what Warmech has. You're at a decent level. If Warmech proves to be too difficult, you have the levels to be able to, you should be able to grind something up. And then take on the Warmech. But if you kill the Warmech, now you can at least, challenge Topher. Maybe not challenge Topher, but I don't know. You can do something else, though. You get the experience from Warmech.
What I find interesting here with Guda is he's 3 up, and he's got a lot of, like, armor and other things in here that for his characters. Things that you might think, like, that he would potentially want to class change, especially if he's going to rock a ninja. He hasn't class changed yet, though, which leads me to think he's still eyeing potentially a black belt.
Clamped bosses. The black belt's is a good call in a situation like this, but the hard thing to do is you got to find a grind tile to do it. But at the same time, you can kind of do it with the casters. I mean, there was a sorcerer spike tile that they probably could have used if they absolutely needed to.
We saw the Iron Goal, which if you have Mazamoon, which I think he's rocking, then he should be able to do that one. We saw the Triple Sarius floating around. That's a good one that you could go on. There's been 2 or 3 different ones that have been worthwhile. If you can get past the Ankleos, you could grind on the Sandworms that are there. I think there's enough potential here that just about any one of the decent grind tiles we find could work out with the experience level bonus that he's at.
Yeah, it looks like that's... Wait, he's taking the Chimera. Yeah, the Chimera fight here. Interesting. I was wondering what he was doing in here, because I noticed the guy was gone. And Guda was the first one to make it through here. Apparently, he really likes the idea of this Chimera fight, at least to start with, until he gets to a high enough level to take out the Iron Bull. Maybe trying to kill off the party members?
Both. Yeah, it looks like that's another thing that he's doing right here.
Or not.
Maybe he accidentally healed.
That's a whole lot of accidentally healing.
Well, I know when you get, caught in the moment and you're nervous. I've done stupid things more than once. Regularly.
No.
Yes.
No.
I rolled the seed. That was a stupid thing.
Not for our entertainment. It wasn't. The TFC chest proves once again how useless it is. Gives a whopping 3 gold to Cheezinator. Congratulations. Oh,
Woo!
2 iron golds. That's not good to find.
Congratulations, you have won the game.
Oh, I'd rather take on 1 iron gold at this point because I don't know how much damage this mouse is going to do, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it's risky.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
They're triple digiting. Ow!
Oh. Oh, those Chimera levels he got. Those are 143. That's better.
Yeah, he got a crit. Mouse has got a decent chance to crit. So, see,
There it goes.
The Mouse can crit, he's fine. The problem is he's got to get the Mouse to crit.
I mean, I think he's going to be able to get out of this because his white mage has the invises. He survived with the ribbons. He survived that. He's got the levels he needed, and that was 10 grand that he just earned.
Exits out. He's level 22 now.
I mean, that was 10 Chimera fights essentially right there. That was not bad at all. Now he's trying to figure out where to go. He's got to check his notes.
So the Thief's next hit gets 6 hits at level 28, and he's at level 22 right now.
Where are you going? Meanwhile, Cheese is still the only other person with the crystal hit on the board. We see the various party members trying to explore around and find something else to do, but this scene has been quite the stopper for everyone.
It really has. It's definitely been a lot of spinning of tires. You have to get good, keep good notes. It is pointed out in chat that Shadowwisher has been spinning her tires a little bit. Maybe got a little lost here. Very easy to do. Guda unfortunately goes the wrong way in the the spike tile in the giant. Yeah,
gets away.
Out he needs to go down. There he goes. Now he's in the sandworm up 2 tile right there.
Issue is I don't like these are dying easy, but at max he's gonna get like what, like 3 grand off of these guys, something like that.
Well, remember, it's also a time investment, though.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, no, he went to...
I would try the red ankles, why not?
One, just for the hell of it. Just to see how it is. There it goes.
Not worth it.
No, they're never worth it. And then he gets the 3-pack. Oops.
I think the regular ankles are worth it.
Oh, if he was trying to kill off guys, though. But now, of course, he has to get out of there without an exit. And he's staring at it going, oh, crap.
Good thing he's got a thief.
Oh, man. Sir, you're scaring me.
Bottom right here for everybody out here. As we're watching the grind on the bottom left, bottom right, we have a Lich 2 pull. Or Lich pull, not Lich 2.
Lich 2 would be impressive since he has no crystals.
Hey, you know what? Anything's possible. And with that attitude, you know...
There you go. 4 grand. So yeah, he killed off everyone. I don't know if he wanted to kill off the white. He did pause for a second there, but he's getting 4 grand to hit. Might not matter if he can get his guy high enough. He can run away from those our Ankylos no matter what they throw at him.
Syraniss tries to give the cake to Lich. Cake says, I'm not hungry this turn.
Yeah, he doesn't want his it's not cheesecake, it's Syraniss cake. He doesn't care as much about it.
Takes the harm 4 to the face. Doesn't like the holy damage. And Syraniss is on the board.
Nice, that's helpful. So that's our 5th crystal lit in total.
Ooh, that glance. Good thing we have a ribbon, but that 3 in 256 chance still scares me.
Scares me a lot. But on the flip side, he's getting like 8 grand in experience when he gets 2 of them. That's nice to see. It's the kind of grind tile you need.
Yeah, and a lot less time. Remember that, because that Iron Goal required a lot of tempers and a lot of effort to kill them. This requires basically 1 to 2 turns at most. and he's good to go. Now
he should move his thief back up to the front though, so he doesn't get ambushed. Like
he might get initiative too because of this.
like he could get ambushes on them, and then he wouldn't have to worry about ambushing because right now it's feeding off of the dead black belt or black mage for his luck chance on that.
Oh, that's a good point by Crabcakes. I forgot. Sandworms are one of those that have lower morale, so they would actually run away sooner. That's a good point by her.
So then, Guda has proven why he's in this, and I'm sitting here on the sidelines.
I mean, I probably, yeah. Well, you would have caught onto it, though, once the Sandworms ran. You would have swapped your party members, but Guda didn't have to worry about that at all and says, I'm smarter than you commentators.
I can just go exterminating these guys, infesting my Hall of Giants.
For the question in chat, I kicked that Gregory guys out of the broadcast booth. You know, it's the dang show, and I've taken over.
Oh, yes, you have.
That's right. SVJ has entered it in. SVJ is part of the Poison Sound Effects broadcast team. Him and Mr. Versetti. If you've ever heard those two, let me tell you, those two are up there as my favorite commentary.
I have switched the audio over for Guda at this point so that we can hear what he is up to, since he's currently our leader. If you guys are looking for us to switch audio around, just let us know in chat. I'll be happy to highlight any of the players that you're looking for us to highlight. So I'm curious how far Guda is going to take this. I'm pretty sure it's just straight to 42, because at this point, why not? You get your black belt and never worry again.
Yeah, I would think at this point you might as well.
I mean, you've seen how bad it is. You have to assume everyone else thinks that it's as bad as you do, and you know that a required war mech is coming. So, clamped war mech, yeah, I think you just take this to 42.
Yeah,
and he's already at 35, so...
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, if you're already at this point anyways, go to 42, because the thief really is not going to be... It's got less HP, and
yeah, no, you're not battling through this with a ninja. Ninja is not your goal. Black belt is your goal if you're taking it up this high. Like, if you want to be spicy and use a katana that he's earned, because we know there's 2 katanas floating around. Black belt katana, like, black-white or red-white. That could work well, but... Or just red, honestly, so you can get your lights, because, you know, life 2 is at the level 2 slot. Get your lights, get your tempers, get whatever else you can get, your locks and so forth. That might be worthwhile if you want to go and buy all your stuff, although rebuying magic does suck.
So the 7th hit for the thief wielding a Masa is at 36. 8th hit is at 44 with the thief fixes on, which we are using. So he's got the 7th hit.
The one question we're getting in chat right now is whether or not Guda is in go mode. I don't see the loot in his inventory, or the tracker, which may just be that we missed it. We need to check his... Nope, it's not first slot, so he doesn't have the loot. So he is not yet in go mode.
Yeah, he hasn't...
I can't remember. I'll go look where loot was.
He's got to get the... He's got to go to ice. He's got to get the crystal, which leads to the herb, which leads to the loot, so...
And yeah, if you look at his tracker, that's 3 of the 4 items, or 5 items that are on his tracker that he doesn't have yet.
But with that black belt being level 42, or whatever character at 42, Ice Cave not going to be very terrifying. And as you see there, that thief swung for 7 hits, so... That's actually a pretty terrifying thief now.
Oh yeah, no, he's... Like, the thief he has could go through most of the rest of the game that he has, and doesn't even have to worry about it. Like, the R Ankylos aren't even going to be a thing. Put them in front, and they may even start running from him. But, like, when you want to actually go into Topher, I would be surprised if he takes a Thief or Ninja in. I still think that at level 42, your Black Belt is your better bet.
Ale Markin hoping for horrible things on our runner here on Guda. So for anybody that just joined, Guda on the bottom left has done a massive grind. Hit 42. I think he's
still going
to 50. I think he's so terrified of those red Anklos. Since the Thief and Ninja has such a bad HP growth compared to other things.
Oh,
he's afraid.
Maybe he forgot that he was at 42.
Oh, yep.
It's possible. Give a little extra leveling while you're in there. Why not?
Okay.
And then out. And run away.
Oh, go!
Oh, yeah, heal. Do not find the spider with thunder. Heal now. Jeez.
That first if that would have been a horrible turn order.
Yeah, he'd be down on the ground and would have lost, what, 5 minutes?
Something like that. 5, 6, 7 minutes. Whew. But cake being given by Shadowwisher. Lich takes it, falls into the crack from being overfed. Shadowwisher's on the board now.
Lich hit the buffet, got himself stuffed. He's dead on all 4 people's screens.
He's in a food coma for 2,000 years.
That is amazing. Like the other bosses, they were defeated by the Light Warriors back in the past, and they're just weak over time as they try and revive themselves. But Lich, no, it wasn't that he was defeated. It was just that he's been stuffing himself silly for 2,000 years. Wait a tick.
That's why he's not as.
See that?
What'd you see?
Okay, no. For a second there, one of the crystals didn't load on Guda's screen. And I thought he somehow lost one of his lit crystals, but he is safe. Okay, that was just a ROM error for a second there. Had me worried for him that he was gonna go and defeat the 4th fiend, and then realize only afterwards, why isn't this orb loading for me? What's going on? Whew. Okay. Anyway, yeah, no. The Lich stuffed himself silly, and then he's just weak from it. Too many calories, too much cholesterol.
And we're gonna see the choo-choo train. I call it the choo-choo train because anything. If you ever seen what a black belt does, basically is he kind of falls behind because of these massive grinds, and then just rolls over everything. Essentially, in most cases. So we're gonna see a power.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
He is the big punchy engine that could.
Now this is aggressive by Guda. Big hit, 300 damage by that war mech. I have to admit, didn't roll as high attack damage as it probably could have been. Guda left that black belt up in the front. Very, very big cojones. The hubris, as some would say.
The bridge was so easy to get to. It's not a huge time loss. Oh, and there you go. Warmech is dead because basically he just dropped 2,000 damage on him in total. The bridge wasn't too far away, so that at this point it just felt like, if you die here, why stress over it?
And we have the possible 4th orb. This is the Queen of Dragons, Tiamat. 1,000 HP, vanilla. Up to 2,000 because it's clamped. First strike from the black belt, almost vanilla HP. Okay, we have a vanilla HP.
And then we do have buzzsaw strats, if you'll note that White Mage is also swinging the Mazamoon just for the heck of it.
Tiamat, okay. We're going with Tiamat. Finally,
took
Guda.
Took out a Black Mage, doesn't care. Oh god, tempered up to do 1,500 damage. That Tiamat was squished.
Yeah.
Thing is, I really hope that Guda's been paying attention that he doesn't have the loot.
You know what the best part is? SVJ trying to tell me how to say the Tiamat. Ha! I'm gonna say it wrong just on purpose now.
So you need to go to Ice Cave, Guda. You gotta go find Ice Cave and you gotta finish it, because you didn't get the items you needed to turn in for that.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna go make that dive down. A lot of our runners doing a lot of double dives, triple dives, and this is one of those things that floor entrance shuffles really kind of force you to do, especially when the seed's been this rough with a lot of enemies trying to kill you. Is you kind of lose track of what chests you've checked and which chests you haven't. For the Ice Cave,
there's a tracker that we use in the community. The Meridian tracker, he coded it, and it's an entrance tracker that has a spot there where you can mark off what type of dungeon it is if you want to get that detailed, though that's slow. But you can also write notes off to the side and check a box that will show that the dungeon has been completed and gray it out. I love this tracker, because I can write in, what if I find a split, what the split is, where the split leads. I can track what important areas are in, like if there's an Ordeals or an Ice Cave lurking in somewhere, or like Topher. But it also means that when I finish a dungeon, I can click it off. And that is the feature I love more than anything else, because being able to say, I did this area, it's done, I do not need to come back here because I checked every chest in it, I did everything there was to do here, that is a lifesaver. Because then it means on areas like this where I'm sitting there going, oh god, I have to go recheck everything. I know I don't, because I've marked them off and they're done.
Cheezinator, second orb lit, takes on Carrie. Carrie didn't want to go down easily. We already knew Carrie was kind of beefy. And took many turns for Cheezinator there, even with that Masa-wielding knight, but Carrie didn't do a whole lot of damage, so it wasn't very dangerous.
And Guda is in a bit of a spot right here. Because he still doesn't know where Ice Cave, which, admittedly, I don't know where Ice Cave is, because I don't have a tracker in front of me. Is it? Okay, yeah. Good. Good. So, but he's still in a bit of a... Until he, gets that chain complete, he's not in Go. So despite the fact that he is the only one of our members that has all 4 of his orbs lit, he can't actually use them yet and actually do anything with them.
Well, technically he could, but then he wouldn't be able to go 2,000 years in the past, so then it becomes awkward and we all kind of laugh. But
well, I mean, yeah, he stares.
You don't want that.
He stares at the plate for a while and he's like, I killed the Phantom, now what?
I sit here and say, nothing's here.
Nope. Hope I have exit, because I'm not doing anything else right now. Gregley, I see you've rejoined us.
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh my gosh, I have... I've been doing a lot of troubleshooting on my computer here, but I think I've finally got something figured out to where I can at least watch the stream and talk to you guys. So, how's it going?
It's going well. I want to thank Corona King 9 over in our chat for your subscribe to Speed Gaming. Thank you very much. The Guda is our currently our leader right now. I'm sure you've been watching over while you've been trying to do work. He's got 4 orbs lit. He's just trying to figure out how to get that loot, and assuming he got the item he needed out of Ice Cave, he's on the right path to finish this out. And then he can go to Topher and be the first of our people to try and conquer 2,000 years in the past.
And I see he's already done his black belt grind, correct? So he's in pretty good shape once he gets to Topher. Yeah,
that sandworm tile we were talking about, he managed to get past the Ankleos after taking up to level 20 on Chimeras and then the Iron Galls over at Ordeals. He went to the Ankleo sandworm-infested Hall of Giants, got past the Ankleos, ground his thief all the way up to 43, had a near miss, almost dying after going up to 43, and then now he's off and running with his overpowered black belt.
Wow. And he's pretty much the only one that seems to be in a good position right now to go into Topher. I'm seeing that Shadowwisher, Cheezinator, and Syraniss have only lit, 2 orbs on Cheezinator, and Shadowwisher's only got 1, and Syraniss as well?
Yeah, Shadow and Syraniss have been... Cheezinator's up to 2, and he's got most of the key items he needs. I think at this point it's really just a matter of him doing his last few turn-ins and finishing out this seed.
And that's what Guda's doing currently right now. He's heading down to the south part of... heading down to the south part of Marsh here, I'm assuming, to turn in this herb, which...
Herb will lead to loot, and loot will lead to go.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he is now officially in go mode. That is
He
fantastic news for Guda. So I'm assuming with these levels and what he's got going on right now, he's going to head to Topher, and we're going to actually see our first dive into Topher at the 2-hour, almost 10-minute mark. So quite a slog of a game, to say the least.
Yeah, with we got people in chat debating how far ahead he is. Honestly, with Cheezinator having to kill 2 more fiends just to get to his go mode, and still needing to get, I think, some of the items he needs to actually get to there. I think there's at least 1 key item he's still missing. He is at the point where, he needs Oxyale, I think, to finish this out for himself. He is at the point where I think 2 really bad Topher wipes still might not catch Cheezinator up.
Yeah, I think I'd have to kind of agree with you on that. I mean, just based on what I'm seeing on the trackers, it looks like, Guda. This is Guda's game to lose.
Absolutely, 100% it's his game to lose. And with a black belt, it's going to take some effort for him to lose it. It's not impossible, but this is a black belt, bear in mind, that should have a rune staff and a Tier 4 sword if he got those items. It's going to be very hard for this black belt to die.
And he's got White Mage with the Life 2 and the Lives and all that stuff. I mean, I just... unless he just gets some terrible RNG or some of these bosses roll either really high evade or specifically high evade is really kind of the only thing I can really think of that might potentially hurt him.
Yeah, he's got to, I think he's got to have like a triple nuke enemy basically at this point with bad turn order on his Tier 4s for him to really have a wipe.
Yeah, the only other thing I could really maybe think of is like maybe his White Mage getting one-shotted in the back row or something, and he's not able to bring people back to life, and then the fiends slowly but surely start taking his party away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a possibility he could die, but that 43 probably going to be like 44, 45 black belt by the time he's through all this. It's unlikely.
And Syraniss just hanging out over the water, just in his airship, I'm guessing checking the notes, trying to figure out what he needs to do. He's got to be like, what is going on? It's 2 hours, 12 minutes in. I've got 1 orb. What is even happening in the world?
Yeah, I feel bad for these ducklings that have gotten thrown into the deep end. I mean, Guda and Cheezinator have been around longer, and it's my props to Shadowwisher and Syraniss for sticking around with it this long. But it would also not surprise me if, like, once they see someone done, if at least one of them forfeits, because this has been some hot garbage.
No, it has absolutely 100% been some hot garbage. I mean, I just wish these guys probably are praying for the seed that I wanted to throw out there.
Did you have something specific picked out?
No.
Okay.
I just rolled the seed, but you had already had one put, and we're gonna go on ahead and check out Lich. We've got our first Lich. Did I see Quadex go out? What? Oh no, Cake. Okay,
Cake.
Give him
Cake.
some Cake.
Mm-hmm.
Cake strats all the way. Gang will call it. Oh, never mind. 10 hits.
Never mind.
11 damage. Or 1145.
Lich disappears in the fresh smell pine. There was a Lich, there is no more. Yeah. Cake is good against Lich. I think Lich 2 is 30% susceptible to it.
It's just basically one of those things where I think Lich has just such bad MDef, and Quake is just one of those spells that will actually land on undeads, whereas a spell like Quadex or something like that isn't going to land because they're immune to death spells since they're already dead. So what do we got here? What are we thinking? We got a Quadex staff. We're doing some tempers. Temper. Of course, the black belt's going to go on ahead and punch first. Punch for a lot. Let's see what Carrie decides to retort with. Maybe some big hugs? Nah, not so much.
It's a decent hug. 236 against the armor that the black belt naturally has is pretty decent. Now, I didn't check what his build at as.
Ooh, that swirl comes out, knocks out the black mage, but keeps the white mage alive. Plenty of life spells, right? We got life at level 1, life 2 at level 2, if I remember correctly. So
He just put the gold bracelet and the ribbon on his black belt. That's interesting. Like, at level 43-ish, your black belt is honestly much better off if you're gonna armor him by putting the opal bracelet and a pro ring on there along with that ribbon.
Yes.
His armor, because he has a natural armor class, that's 1 point per level.
Yep.
You need to give him enough armor to balance that out if you're going to do it. Otherwise, you may as well just use his natural MDEF, which I think is unfixed, 4 points per level. You might get like baned or something through that, but it's such a high chance that the ribbon almost isn't worth it. If you're really worried about it, then you need to give him a full high-level build out.
Absolutely, yes. You got to get him at least over that level, that 42 or 43 absorb to make it make any sense. And like you said, with the MDEF growth, 43 times 4, we don't Twitch math, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out. It's pretty high.
I think someone did tell me at one point that with the pro ring and the ribbon and the opal bracelet, you're at 43 armor.
It looks like Syraniss did find that Sorry Talon. It looks like he's going to go on ahead and hang out and grind on it.
It's a nice tile. I can't blame him for it. That's a really good tile.
So we got some tempers going off. We got an Invis 2 action. Good call considering Kraken does like to do what you just saw there. 7 hits, 6 something damage. The Black Belt retorts with pretty similar damage there. Ooh, and there goes the White Mage. That's the thing That's the thing. Now he might be fine, but man, clamped Chaos.
I mean, it's still not terrible.
No, it's not the worst thing you can see.
I didn't see in his inventory yet if he has the ruse.
He does
stick,
have the cure stick.
He does have the cure sword. Oh, there he's got the ruse. Ruse, yeah, he is fine. This is acceptable. Like, it's not ideal.
He needs to move, in my opinion, I think he needs to move that Cure 4 over to his Black Belt in case his Black Mage dies during this next battle. That way he can ruse up, Cure 4 if he needs to, if things get kind of crazy, and then just punch and hope for the best.
Yeah, I don't think you trust that the Black Mage is going to survive. There's just no reason to keep that Black Mage around. I put the Cure 4 and the Ruse on my Black Belt, and you make them a one-punch army for everything. By the time you get to Tiamat and Chaos, and you just Ruse, and then Cure 4 if you have to, and then just start punching and rusing over and over again until the battle is done.
Yeah, and chat, Thunderclad pointing out he's scared, I'm scared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and anything could be bad in this battle. I mean, and that hit. You hope for a
370. Yeah, it's a high absorb and a
zone.
Oh, there it goes. That's what you didn't want to see.
Yep. Luckily, he's already hit base HP, and Tiamat goes down. So good thing. I'm assuming he's got to move that Cure 4 sword up. He's in good chance.
To. Please remember to move that up. You're scaring me, man. Move that up.
I don't like it. Come on. He's thinking about it.
There you go.
There you go.
Trade it over. Oh, he's Ruse. You need both Ruse and Cure 4. You're good. There.
All right.
Now you're good. Okay.
As long as he gets decent enough turn order, he can get the Ruses out. Okay, that didn't hit. That was good.
Yep.
Stop comes out. He's getting his Ruses up. We're already down to 1 hit for 151, so he's already up to max evade with those 3 Ruse staffs. So he's good to go as long as nothing crazy happens. So we got 5 hits for 243. We know that Chaos is going to probably average somewhere around 3,000 hit points. Right now, he's already done 1,000 hit points. Lit 2 comes out. That's not going to do anything. Ooh, 1 hit, 84. Man. That is not good. 7 hits, 599. We're about the 1,700 mark. So we're about to hit that base hit points. Now we're at 2,500. I think this is going to do it. That does it.
That does it. Very nicely done.
With an official SRL time of 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 43 seconds is going to go on ahead and become our Duckling Supreme.
Or Platypus Supreme, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever the case, he is the champion of this derby and the hero of our hearts.
The hero of all the hearts. As we're going to go on ahead and check on everybody else. Syraniss doing this Saria grind in Ice Cave. If I remember correctly, that's where the Sarias are. Yep, on the eye tile. Shadowwisher.
What I'm seeing from his tracking inventory at this point, he is in full go.
Okay,
so all he has to do is get his grind out of the way and then decide, like, who he wants to tackle and in what order. He's got everything he needs to do.
And then Cheezinator finally picking up his chime, finally catching that last chime, which you know the chime leads to Dwarf Cave, correct? And the Dwarf Cave leads to Oxshale, and Oxshale, I'm assuming, led to Kraken?
I believe Kraken was hiding behind the Oxyale, so she should be in go at this point too, and they all should be good to go. It's like no.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Guda. I know that he was very excited about this race, and the fact that he was able to pull it out here at the end, it's awesome. Good for Guda, Mr. Duckling Supreme.
Duckling Supreme. That sounds delicious. A little bit of sour cream, some tomatoes on there, a nice crunchy shell.
Let's go. Are we going to get Guda in here? Have we?
Yeah, I gotta get him the link because apparently he hasn't gotten the invite. So 1 second.
Okay, I'll go on ahead and just call whatever I see. I see some green Agamas getting beat up over here. Looks like Shadowwisher is back in. Gragamas.
Why haven't we changed the name to that yet? Gragama.
Gragama, let's do it right now. Cheese is going to go on ahead and do the obvious. He's going to head over here. He's going to go into the Mirage, find out that it is Dwarf. He's going to turn in his TNT, get his Ruby, but most importantly, turn in his Adamant and get his Oxyal so that he can finally find Kraken,
this out.
Finally kill Kraken, and then put himself in go mode.
Guda, Duckling Supreme, congratulations, sir.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. I thought that I played that game absolutely terribly.
I don't know that you could have played that seed well. This seed was not a seed you play well.
Yeah. This was gnarly with a capital G.
And that's what I was like thinking the entire time. I'm like, you know what? I when I pulled Floater out right away, I was like, I am so far ahead of everybody because nobody's gonna go into Sky 2 and check Star Room at the beginning. I mean, I'm sure people did, but
Shadowwisher was the only other person that did it. She checked it right away, and she was like one of the. She checked it not right away. You were the first one in the air by a mile. I think you were in the air like the 12-minute mark.
Yeah, 11, 12 minutes, something like that.
Where
early, and then 10 minutes after you, Shadowwisher did it.
Okay. Let me pull up the Twitch stream here so I can see what's going on with everybody else.
Guda, you're still alive, so we need you.
Can you give us a black screen?
And Cheezinator finally finding Kraken. He's got to feel relieved at this point.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of those things where Cheese knows he hasn't gotten first place, but still, I think after being brutalized with the seed for as long as he has, he wants to finish it out. Like, no matter what, he just needs to finish it out.
And I'm assuming at this point, Shadowwisher has not made it down Canaria Castle all the way to find that chime, so she's just trying desperately to find that loose item, that loose chime, which is going to lead to the Oxyale, which is going to make her game finally move somewhere.
Yeah, this game, the whole thing, I don't even know what I did. Honestly.
We were kind of in the same boat. We were having a hard. We were following it the best that we could. We knew a lot of craziness was happening, and it was what it was. You saw exactly what happened. It was It was the trolliest of troll seeds.
I was looking, and I'm like, where have I not been? And I'm like, I've seen all these entrances, and I do pen and paper tracking, and I'm looking, and I'm like, what have I not cleared? And I'm like, oh, I don't have checks next to anything. Crap. Like, I just dove in a little bit, because I think I was level, what was I? I was level, like, 12 at an hour, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right.
That was, it was bad for everyone. I think we were an hour plus in, and Syraniss was still level 6.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I found my preferred party really early, which is exactly what I wanted. I love in these types of seeds with Tavern, Entrance, Shuffle. I love running Thief, White Mage, Black Mage, Black Mage. It gives me exit, it gives me warp, and it gives me running. and that's all I care about. Like, I don't care about levels until I need to start killing fiends.
Which we noticed, and you were able to get away from a lot of those real, especially on that in the sky areas and then the mirage areas. Ordeals was just like pretty much it seemed like every dungeon had like one awful floor that you needed running to get away from the just nasty enemies.
And it also seemed like every dungeon had some nasty unrunnable. I went back and I'm like, all right, I'm level 21. I'm going to go do Iron Golems. Like, Iron Golems are the best experience you can get in this entire game. And then my Thief hit 6 hits, 6 damage, and I'm like, gonna do Iron Golems anymore.
Yeah, you hit him with the, well.
And I went, let's just hope I can get out of this alive once. And maybe get a level or 2. And then I had some really, really, really puckered butt cheeks when I saw 4 red Ankylos and a solo Thief.
Yeah, that first hit for like 300 damage, you had to like just be sitting there going, oh god, oh god.
Yeah, I'm like, please give me turn order. I got turn order. I'm like, level 42, here we go.
Well,
time for a black belt.
The craziest part about that is we talked about it. We were like, why is he going back through the red Ankylos? And we're like, oh, we should Dan the rest of his party. And then we saw you. By the way, I have to talk about this War Mech battle, and then we'll talk about how you were stuck on the wrong tile after you had Danned everybody. But first off, we've got War Mech engaged. We got a fog. He's keeping his black belt up in the front row, and War Mech hit pretty hard on that black belt, but it went okay. We got 5 hits, 221 damage. Tempers are going out last, of course, because that is, that's RNG for you. That's how things have to be, right? So Temper coming out again. Now we got 4 stacks of Tempers. Let's see what Claw's going to do. He hits 2 hits for some amount of damage. Obviously didn't take War Mech down, so we're going to stack more Tempers, which obviously makes sense at this point. Let's get a 5th Temper. Let's get a 6th Temper. Let's see if Claw can do something now. 4 hits, 940 damage. Good thing Lit 2 comes out. That's kind of a wasted turn. And now we're into round 4. 8 stacks of Tempers as Cheezinator's going to pull up War Mech and see how this goes. We've got up to 8 stacks, and of course, the black belt goes down. That is brutally brutal. What do? I throw out some.
You gotta reset. You reset.
Quad X isn't going to work. You just hope you've done enough damage, and you just Hail Mary Ice 3s. That's what I'm thinking.
That's exactly what I'm thinking too. Hail Mary Ice 3s and pray that it'll work.
Because you've done a lot of damage. You've done over the base damage. He's going to be somewhere around the 1500 mark. So just Ice 3s and Fire 2s, just pray. As Cheezinator's pulling War Mech, he's got a much lower party, and the Ice 3s work. The Ice 3s do it. He's going to be able to bring his black belt back to life and be able to take on Tia, as Cheezinator had no issues with War Mech.
The thing about this is that Cheezinator had a very different strategy there, because he's got fighters, and Ruse was available at like early levels. He's using Ruse strats for his casters and going at it with Tempers and just blasting away with 2 swords. It was much faster for him and more effective long run.
Yeah, so right now we've got a double Tia happening. He's doing attack and Brack strats, which, I mean, I definitely agree with. You may as well go on ahead and do it. And Syraniss just goes on ahead and punches the crap out of Tiamat, and Tiamat's gone. As Cheezinator, they do dual War Mech and... Yeah, dual War Mech and Tia battles are done. Cheezinator should have all his orbs lit, which means he's going to hop in a Topher here at about the 2 hour and 28 minute mark. Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you. Go on ahead, Darkmoon, and talk.
And I was going to say, he's got promoted characters and is sitting on a double fighter. There's at his mid-20s that he's at right now after that War Mech, there is absolutely no reason for him to even need to grind. We had people in chat discussing the fact that Syraniss was probably actually ahead because he had his grind out of the way, but Cheese isn't going to have to grind, so that lead that you thought Syraniss might have because of his black belt, non-existent. And Cheese is doing the party I was thinking about doing, like double warrior up front for this, because then you have the beefcake squad.
Yep. And blink and you missed the Shadowwisher on ahead and carry, so she got her second orb lit while we were too busy looking at dual Tiamats and War Mechs.
Well, she's still looking for her Chime. That is the one thing that's holding her up. Chime is going to lead to Oxyel for her, and she's going to be able to finish this out. But the unfortunate fact is it's 2:29 in, and she's still not yet in go mode. And I feel for her. I have been in this position. You lose track of something, or you forget that you haven't cleared a dungeon, and you can spin your wheels for a while trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah, well, Syraniss right now has carry 1 pulled, and I'm assuming carry 1's about to be dead here in about right now. Yeah, 8 hits, 1077. That was after an initial hit of 977. Yeah, carry doesn't have that many hit points. He's going to go on ahead and light up his 3rd orb, and I'm assuming he needs to kill Kraken in order to make it into Topher. And we got a Lich 2. Do you want to call this Lich 2? Fire 2 coming out. Cheezinator hitting 4 hits, 258, and 5 hits for 268. We got the Temper coming out last, of course, because that is RNG for you. Blaze coming, doing pretty low rolls because of those ribbons that he. And then we've got 4 hits, 315. Lich 2 is still a speed bump, even at 200% clamped. Cheezinator keeps the move going as Shadowwisher is trying to get out of the Lefane area so she can keep trying to figure out what she needs to do with this game. And the early part of this encounter table is just obnoxious, to say the least.
I want to poke in for a second, now that we have a moment, and while we're waiting for Carry 2 to show up. We saw a couple of very easy Carry 1 fights come in. Guda, if you're still with us, your Carry 1 was anything but.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm letting you guys do your job, and I'll wait patiently. There's a lot of action going on.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
but your Carry fight
won.
sucked.
Yeah, a little bit. Carrie decided that she was going to back row my Massa Wielder a couple of times in a row, which that kind of hurt a lot.
Yeah, I think you were up to 5 attempts on her.
I decided that, I think I was only like level 18 or something like that. I was pretty low for clamped carry. But it should have been a lot easier with, a thief that can
do
Massa.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of damage, and then I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna pray for Quad X, and that Quad X hammer just hit it down like Thor, and bam, carry exploded. It was awesome.
Nice. Cheezinator taking out Carry 2 with those awesome beefcake strats that you were talking about earlier. You get those guys up there, you've got your tank up in the front, you've got your DPS right below it doing the massive attacks and fast and tempers, and it seems to be working out okay, because now he's on the seafloor, Shadowwisher, doing her promotion. So she's going to have some adults in her party, and Syraniss is he can't even get out of the Lefane area.
Well, this is the benefit of the double knight party right here. Is yes, sure, the black belt you've seen naturally is going to hit for 800 when he punches against one of these bosses, but the 2 fighters, before they even got fasted, were swinging for 200-300 damage each. They were nuclear on Kraken. We hadn't seen that before.
Yeah,
the 2 fighters are able to just wallop out that damage that a black belt would, because they're working together as a team. It's good strategy.
Yeah, so he's going to go on ahead and temper up some more and actually attack with his with only 1 cast of Ruse on. 4 hits, 117, and Kraken goes for a little bit of a hug, but it wasn't too bad. 6 hits, 736 was much better coming off of that Massa Wielder. A couple more tempers coming out. He's going to throw out a Hail Mary. It's a good time to do it, especially if this doesn't do it, but it did do it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
just then.
If turn order worked out for him with how much we saw Kraken have the last time, if he didn't do it with those 2 swings, the Quad X was going to get it no matter what.
Yeah, and it looks like Syraniss is going to go on ahead. He realizes that Kraken is in this final dungeon here, and he'll kill Kraken, have his orbs lit, and then go on ahead and head into Topher. I would say, what? You thinking about 2 or 3 minutes from now, about the 2-hour, 36-minute mark-ish? As we got a Tia 2 pulled, got fast coming out. He's just going full-on attacks. Got a Ruse happening, more fasts. Ice 2 coming out, not really doing a whole lot of nothing because of the ribbons. More tempers. Getting his tempers on his Massa Wielder. After the 1 Ruses, we've got 6 hits, 521. Zap comes out. Zap would have only hit 1 of them, but it didn't, so that's good. Everybody lives.
Yes.
We got tempers coming out again. And we've
the
got
benefit of having tempers and fasts at an early level cannot be understated, because he can burn charges on these guys and not even have to worry about it.
That's right. And blinking, you miss it. Syraniss has killed Kraken 1, and Cheezinator has killed TO2, and he is about to engage in the final boss, Chaos himself, as Syraniss tries to desperately make his way over to Topher so he can make this... So he can go on ahead and close his time loop.
Cheese is about to pull Chaos. Syraniss is finally in go mode, so he can go to Topher. And Shadowwisher, good for her, is finally on track to go pick up her chime in this dungeon. I believe it's down in here from what everyone's saying, and yeah, it should be around here. And then she can finally get on track and get her last 2 orbs lit, and we will have all of our people heading off to Chaos for their final battles now.
Yep. So we've got Chaos pulled. He's using the same strats that we've talked about before. He's throwing fast on both of his knights. He's throwing bruises out there for both of those knights as well to make sure they're nice and buffed up, get that evade up. We've determined, based on the last battle, Guda's battle, that Chaos has somewhere around the 35-ish hit points. First hit comes out, 7 hits, 477. Stop comes out. We saw that earlier. It's not going to hit anybody. Vorpal attacks, 5 hits for 284-ish, I think. So
284.
Yeah, like. So we're about the 800 mark now. We've got 6 hits for 654.
Close to 1500.
Yep, exactly. More tempers coming out. Vorpal doing Vorpal things and hitting 3 hits for 84. We got 4 hits for 143, and the Massa comes out. 3
nice
hits.
Turn order there.
Yes, it was. It is always good to see good turn order when you're throwing out tempers and you're just trying to get through this Chaos battle. He's done about 2,000, somewhere around there, between 2,000 and 2,500 hit points, and Chaos is just throwing out a bunch of nothing.
Chip damage. All chip damage.
Yeah, 4 hits, 301.
Ooh, nice temper early.
Yep, 2 hits.
There you go.
Cheezinator takes it down with an official SRL time of, I don't know, because he put it away. 2 hours 38, somewhere in that general area, or 36.
Official SRL time of 2 hours, 36 minutes, 33 seconds, as per the chat.
Thank you. So we'll go on ahead and get Cheezinator in here for a little bit as Syraniss goes on ahead, and he's going to make his way into Topher, go 2,000 years in the past. Guda, you still with us? Talk to us. Tell us more about your seed.
I'm still here, Greg. So, once about an hour 30 hit, and I was missing a key item, and missing Ice Cave, and missing a whole bunch of stuff. I was like, nobody's gonna dot done, because I know how good Syraniss is, I know how good Shadowwisher is, and I'm like, one of these guys and girls is gonna dot done, and I'm gonna be really sad because I was in the air so fast. And it didn't happen, and I've been having some chat issues with SRL and my live split. So I'm like, I bet you I disconnected and somebody dot done and I didn't know about it. Then nope, nobody did.
Jeez.
Nobody did. I came back in and
hello.
All right, well, hey, Cheese, GG.
Yeah,
GG.
Cheese. By the way, Cheese by far the latest person in the air, and somehow was still able to manage to pull a second place finish. GG's.
Thank you. Yeah, that seed was a story. In fact, it was a set of stories. So, I'll just run through my thoughts, like, real quick start to finish. The all-white mage start with the only other class buried at on-rack, and, like, no offensive capabilities until you could kill undead stuff in Melmond, or in the Melmond at the Earth Cave location, was just, like, so rough. Once I finally got over those hurdles, I was, because I couldn't take most fights in the early game, I was deliberately skipping a lot of chests. Like, my white mages can't kill things, or there's a lot of unrunnables, so if I step on a trap tile or I do whatever, I might just, die or have to reset. So I deliberately skipped lots of chests and was just kind of banking on nothing loose biting me in the early game or at any point, I don't know. Once I got fighters, I started checking a few more because I could actually finish fights. But I clearly left behind a very accessible floater, and so there's nothing in Final Fantasy Randomizer that you can do to, like, express your frustration through the screen to the viewers, but in other games you can do like rage slashes or throw bombs or whatever. So you can imagine I was just like throwing bombs at that floater chest as soon as I got it.
You took a long pause and then
saw-
just like stared at your inventory, and we knew exactly what you were saying.
Yeah. So
We saw
from
you
that
raging.
point, I knew I was so behind that I started deliberately saying, no matter what, I'm going to just forget about any loose items. I'm going to go, try to find every dungeon bottom I can, and just assume the tail or the ribbon or ruby or some useless like entrance item is going to be the loose, and that I wouldn't need a go mode, something like chime or whatever. Well, it
Something
turned
like
out,
John.
yeah. So I made the wrong bet based on being super behind with floater. Had I gotten the chime on my first pass through that place, I might have gotten first, but I don't really know because Gouda came in way ahead of me.
Let's go on ahead. Don't mean to cut you off, but Syraniss is pulling up Lich 2 right now, and as we talk about that battle, looks like Shadowwisher is going to finally get her chime and be able to kill Kraken here and put herself in go mode. We got Tempers coming out. Lit 3 happens, doing, like I said, relative chip damage. And Claw hits. Lich is down. 8 hits, 907. He's going to go on ahead and move to the fire floor. Shadowwisher finally in go mode. She should be able to make it to Kraken.
She needs to get this chime out. She's not exiting, which she has said is a flaw of hers. She will forget sometimes that she has warp and exit. I'm really hoping she has charges of it so she can get out of here.
Maybe she's just
Or
checking the
she's
bottom.
going deep for a boss, I guess.
Yeah, she doesn't know where Kraken is yet, so she's probably just assuming.
That's fair.
Yeah, and then she's going to see this and probably go, well, that's dumb. And then hopefully exit out of here.
And use the chime, yeah.
Yeah, well, right now we've got Carrie here. He's got his Black Mages attacking. See what that's all about. Claw goes out. 4 hits, 804. Carrie's down. Now it's time for the water floor. Go on ahead and continue, Cheese.
Oh yeah. So I guess the later game story is just like how many random chests I had to remember and then go pick out. Like my notes were very good, but I still had to pick through them all to find all the uncleared dungeons and like the uncleared floors and whatever. And it just happened to be my luck that the chime was in like the literal last dungeon with available treasures that I checked of all of them.
Yeah, the crazy part is the chime was right there the whole time. It was right in that early game. It's just impossible to get down there with those, unrunnable arachnids with thunder.
Yeah,
the
that
arachnids had thunder? I literally never even saw them cast it.
Yeah, they ambushed me with thunder multiple times when I was trying to get past Earth 1.
Oh, in Earth 1, anytime I got an encounter, I was just resetting, so I didn't see anything.
Right,
Yeah,
looks like
so Cheese, I did the exact opposite. I got in the air in 12 minutes and checked every single entrance looking for towns.
Yeah,
so Lincoln, you miss it. Syraniss has taken out Kraken 2 with all of his light warriors alive to pull the Guda strats, where he's going to have to 2-man the rest of Topher.
Yeah, level 45 black belt had to 1-man chaos. Luckily, I had a Cure 4 stick and a Ruse stick.
I don't think Syranniss's black belt is anywhere near that high.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 731. I'm assuming he's around the 36, 37 level area, and it looks like Shadowwisher is going to go on ahead and aid Warmech. So we've got Warmech on the top screen here, and we've got Tia 2 on the bottom screen. She's thinking about what she wants to do. We've got Tempers coming down on the black belt, which obviously that's what you would do. And he's going to attack with his white mage who has the massive. We've got a little white ninja down there. And
a couple things to note about Syranniss's play here. I don't see him casting fast. I don't see him casting lock. With the particular Tiamat that we had here, either of those spells would have helped out a lot. So I think that's one of those ones that shows that they're not quite the full pro level, which no offense to them, they're doing great here. It's those kinds of things that they come with experience and oh god.
That battle. He stepped off. He decided to take the battle because it was unrunnable. He didn't take a second to bring his other black mage back to life.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he got bad turn order with that wizard zombie, or sorry, wizard vampire.
Or Wiz Vampire.
Yeah,
And now watch him take a few fights here to try and get to level 42.
Oh, he's going too fast too. He needs to calm down. He's getting a little tilted by what just happened. He needs to take a breath.
No, but I kind of agree with Guda at this point. I mean, I think I might take battles just to try to.
Oh, yeah, any experience you can get. That's fine.
No, we got ambushed by this. This is horrible.
Oh no!
Yeah, these things are clamped. They do a jillion damage, and they do not go down in one hit. He can run, but
we've got Tia 1 happening up top, but it's hard to figure out what we want to watch here because we want to see if Guda can even, Syraniss can even make it.
He
rused
once and they're already missing.
Well, that's fantastic
huge
news. Hopefully he can get through this battle. This might actually get him like 3 or 4 levels because we do know worms are full of experience. Tiamat's down. That fighter just massive Tia all over the place.
There it is. 8 hits for 1,200 damage.
Yeah,
this is a good recovery from a bad situation.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
I'm actually very proud of Syraniss. A lesser player might have just full on tilted on that.
Oh yeah.
26,000.
Yeah, and I did not catch
so far since OSV. Like he showed up at OSV and was brand new, and here he is, already a platypus, and he's showing how good that he can play this game.
That's the ticket. Just get your level. That's all you gotta do.
No, I mean I absolutely 100% agree with this play. Go out there, grind some levels. Get up to 42 before you take on Chaos. You've got the Cure Force stick. You've got the Ruse stick. You should be able to, if you can get your Ruses up and you get good turn order like what Guda did.
Yeah,
when you have over 800 hit points, you don't even need good turn order because you have Cure 4. I mean, there's no way unless Chaos rolls 3 hits and a bunch of crits that he's going to hit you for more than
even those
damage.
Even a triple nuke with bad turn order, you can still recover from with that Cure Force stick.
That is very true. Oh, 2 hits, 3 something. He's going to go on ahead and do the Cure 4, which I totally agree with.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you keep your HP up. And he's got his other Ruse out. He's almost at max evade.
I would just do all 3.
This is a great play from somebody who's only been in the community for, maybe a month or 2?
Yeah,
2 hits for 20.
Yeah. So 7 hits, 5.
Yeah, better.
579. 5 hits, 373. He goes in and hits again, 4 hits, 3 something. So he's about a third of the way there through Chaos. Another pretty big hit there, and we've got about 1,600 damage on Chaos right now. He's just pressing A and praying at this point. 3 hits, 540 or 564. I'm sorry. 81. Man, these hits are kind of all over the place. 7 hits, 416, and Syraniss finishes in 3rd place with an official SRL time of, tell him,
2 hours, 47 minutes, 30 seconds. Well done, Syraniss. GG. You have earned your platypus rank. You're a fantastic player at this game.
Yep.
GG.
And I have to,
Syraniss. That was fantastic.
And I'm gonna have
Syraniss.
GG Syraniss. He is in here, correct?
He is in here. He may have his mic muted and he doesn't realize it yet, or he has pushed to talk or something.
I have to commend Shadowwisher for just sticking it out. She's sticking it out. She could have easily
and I love how she goes topside.
Yes, I did. I do too. I'm like, who does this? It's amazing.
Well, no, but there was a thing because of the free steps you get from the door. It seems longer, but I think actually topside is an equivalent number of actual steps that you have to worry about.
That's fascinating. I frankly forgot that room was up there.
Well, I didn't know that room existed at all until I watched Shadowwisher's race from like a few weeks ago, and I was like, what?
Yeah, it's a fun thing that you can use that route, and it's actually really not that much different in terms of length. I think maybe it's a step or 2 longer, but yeah, there was one of the early spring tournaments I was watching back when this community was just starting. They did measures of it, and if it's longer, it's only longer by a slight amount. and it feels better because you have all those free steps.
Yeah, so Syraniss is with us. I see that he's in the room with us. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, GG's.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. I spent the first hour and a half, 2 hours of that just hoping someone would done so I could.
You know, we honestly had that discussion.
This was if you were looking for like a particular kind of showcase or you had a time limit on the seed, seeing like the first 10 minutes of this might have been a reroll. Like some competitive communities will just reroll when seeds start that badly.
Oh yeah, and Cheese, you were talking about how you had to do undead stuff and
Jeez. That crack.
Exactly what I did. I got to Earth and I just started walking and I'm like, oh, that's right, there's ghouls, and then they have like lit 2 or something stupid. And then I ended up just doing like a solo white mage harm 4 grind to like level 11. All right, well, here we go. I got 1 light warrior at level 11. Yes.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, you gotta get the level somehow. We talked about,
get it where you can.
Yeah, we talked about how you were gonna get levels with that harm 4, and Kraken goes down. Looks like Shadowwisher's finally lit up her 4th orb, and she is going to go on ahead and go 2,000 years in the past and try to make her way through Topher. Syraniss, you were the 3rd person? No. Were you? Yes, you were the 3rd person that found the floater. How did you feel when you finally made it back to that room and the floater was just right there? It was right in that chest?
A little disgusted that I didn't check it soon.
We felt bad for you. We were yelling at the screen, wishing that you'd just go take a hard right turn and maybe take a look before you wandered off.
Meanwhile, I'm diving Corneria Castle and finding the chime and trying to walk it back out.
Oh my god, we watched that. You got to that final floor, that Earth 1 floor, and then you hit those unrunnable arachnids with thunder, and we couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
it was heartbreaking.
Steps away. It was heartbreaking.
I gotta say, if you actually had managed to get that one out, you might have actually managed to beat Guda out of this, because it was that chime more than anything that stopped most of you.
Yeah, the chime.
I think the point where I first had the cube, it was pretty late in the seed already, and so that the chime was behind the cube blocker, so it was somewhere down there. And if I had just cleared then, because I was clearly strong enough to survive walking a few extra steps in a dungeon. If I cleared that dungeon then, oh boy, I could have gotten back 20 minutes.
Oh, most assuredly. Now, Shadow Walker is taking a bold step here. She is going in with her characters in the early 20s, going to try and do this Topher dive.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah, we've noticed in Shadowwisher's plays that she notoriously hits Topher way low level, then somehow still manages to pull it out. So hopefully she can make it happen. But clamp bosses, like I said in Discord earlier, do not mess around.
It's one of the reasons she beats me, because I love to make sure my characters are leveled up by my mid game, so I don't have to think about it. So when I get a good grind going or a good walking grind, I'll make sure I pick my levels up to at least 24 for a knight or mid 30s for a black belt, so that I am ready to just pick the rest of it up from the bosses I'm fighting and go into Topher at high levels. It's part of the reason why I survive on a single dive, but it does also mean that players that go in and make the gamble of a low-level Topher grind are gonna beat me every time, because if you make it through, and I'm still wandering around trying to get my levels.
Yeah, but with clamp bosses, it's only, it was only 100 to 200, so initially I was like, I probably only need a knight, but then with as god-awful as the seed was, I'm like, I'm going to 42, and I'm gonna get a black belt there, and alright, hopefully now Topher's not a total jerk. People were already there before me with as bad as the seed was.
Yeah, with how this was playing out, I didn't find good experience spots until very, very late, like Gurmadus's, and those had stun touch, as well as, the fire elemental tile.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just went with the fact that I had so much gear, 2 knights with life 2, and then 2 casters of Temper and Fast was probably going to get it done. I was like mid-20s or something. I played this flag set a lot and found the black belt grinds to be very slow because of clamped regular mobs. So I just didn't think I could afford to take the extra time for that, and thought I had something good enough.
I found sandworms. They were hiding behind the red ankylos. Solo, thief, red sandworm, 2, and then had to walk through the red ankylos to get out.
Oof.
As butt puckering as you can have.
It was bad. It was really bad. Yeah, Cheese, you actually played the party, by the end of it, that I was thinking I would have built. The double fighter with mages to back them up, because as we were looking at the damage you were cranking out, Guda's 1 black belt was most of the time getting 700 to 800 on his hits before he got tempered, and you were doing 300 or so per sword swing for your 2 fighters. You were getting equivalent damage without actually having to grind your guys, and it was working out really well for you.
Yeah, that's probably one of the few things I'm happy about with this run, because there was so much that just went south or went left or right. That was pretty straightforward. The Life 2 just really sold it.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate you had to go all the way in canoe to even get to Provoca. Like, this seed, it was absurd.
Yeah, the good magic, casting and good magic were both buried pretty late. There was nothing really good at the early levels, so like Black Mage was only a temper bot pretty much.
Oh, I quad X'd everything. He had low level quad, or he had level 1 quad X, and anything that was 2, well, even 4, like the 4 sorcerers, I started quad Xing them. So I'm like, all right, there's XP.
Yeah, I didn't have the ability to get that until probably far after you did.
All right, looks like we've got Shadowwisher at the 2 hour and 56-minute mark is going to take on Lich 2. Let's see how this goes. She's getting everybody healed up. She's pretty low level, but we know that Lich 2 didn't really have a lot going on. So let's see how this battle happens. She's going to go on ahead and temper up. We got a fast temper. Harm 4 does work on Lich because, of course, Lich is undead. Blaze coming out, doing some minimal damage because of all those ribbons. 4 hits, 200 damage. Of course, the fast comes out afterwards because, again, why not? Lit 3 comes out. Apparently, the ribbon is not on her fighter. That's a bold strategy. And looks like she went on ahead and took Lich out anyway.
Yeah, she didn't have any problems with it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was like 6 hits, 800 damage or something insane. So, sorry, I did not mean to interrupt. Continue, guys.
Oh, I don't have too many other thoughts. I do have to eat and stuff. I will let you all have fun casting the rest of this. It's been really enjoyable. I like being a platypus, though I wish I were the supremest of the platypuses. That's okay, though. Congratulations on the title and the bragging rights, Guda.
Thanks, Cheese. Honestly, I'm like, Cheese has got this.
In another universe where I see
when
the
I walked
floater
in.
early, maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, probably. I had the floater at 12 minutes. So
You made the right checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we talked about. We couldn't believe it. We were like, holy, 2 seeds in a row, loose floater. Like right there. Actually, 3 seeds in a row, right? Didn't all 3 of these seeds have a loose floater?
I think so.
Because I know
yeah, I think so.
TNT led to floater last time. And then last night I know the floater was loose somewhere. And oh my gosh.
It was always
it was in
nothing
Mermaids.
about
It was loose in Mermaids.
That's right.
So 3 loose floaters in a row. That's gutsy, randomizer. That's gutsy.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about you, randomizer, doing all this crazy stuff. But anyways,
the better question is who's been rolling these seeds?
Well, first off, I had a seed rolled for this, but Dark Moon insisted that we use his seed, so you can blame him. You can go on ahead and blame him for it. Otherwise, Cheezinator, you have a good rest of your night, man. We'll see you around in Discord.
Yes.
Right.
GG's,
Thanks.
great job.
Easy, Cheese. GG.
For setting up the tournament. Thanks to the broadcast team and crew and everyone at Speed Gaming for having us. Can't wait to watch this video back later. I'm hungry. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
And as Cheezinator takes off, we've got Shadowwisher taking on the second Fire Fiend in Carry 2. looks like a swirl came out. I didn't really catch much of anything else. She's thinking about what she wants to do. She's got the Cure 4 staff, so she's going to go on ahead and cure up her red mage that's in the front slot there. Carrie goes on ahead and knifes for 6 hits for a lot of damage and takes out that second red mage. We're going to go on ahead and get a temper back out there.
Yeah. He's got hair and a spare. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it's okay. No.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now it's a little more dire.
Yeah.
I think even the knife have life too.
Yeah. So I think we're okay. 8 hits, 1062, and Carrie goes down. We've got plenty of life 2s for days. Life 2s, 4 days. We'll bring our red mages back to life, and she's going to go on ahead and make it. Let's go on ahead and keep talking. Guda, I mean, I know you've been in here a while. You've given a lot of thoughts about how you felt about this seed. Trying to think of anything else that really was like crazy aside from everything.
I mean, I was super happy. Like, this is why Final Fantasy Randomizer can make you super bipolar. Because I was so happy for the first, I don't know. I was really mad for the first 8 minutes.
Carrie. Yeah.
Happy for the next, 10. And then I was tilted for an hour.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
I would have been tilted this whole race. There's no way I make it to the... I'm just like, no.
Yeah, I was tilted. I was tilted pretty hard for a while.
Yeah, when I saw this opening and then I saw how bad the first one was. I mean, after the delightful giggling I was letting out for the first 15 minutes or so, Gregley directly asked me, "So what would you do in this situation?" I'd be like, "I wouldn't race this seed. I think I'd dot forfeit after a half an hour and just walk away." Because, ugh.
I mean, if I didn't find the sandworms hiding behind the red ankylose, and or if the didn't find any grind tile, and didn't find ice cave, and completely lost track of my notes, I probably would have just waited for and been like, I'm done. I can't even.
I feel that. Okay.
Oh, nice. What?
Yeah, what is it? I'm hearing.
2.
What happened to her? I was like,
she didn't have life 2, and she had to reset out, unfortunately.
Oh.
Life 2 on her night.
Oh, you need to go buy life 2. That hurts.
Yeah, that does hurt.
Wow.
So Greg, at this point, we've been going for about 3 hours, and I know, she's been doing great, and I've enjoyed watching her, but we have taken up SG's time long enough. I think with that wipe, we probably do need to start wrapping this up.
Yeah, unfortunately, I hate to do that to Shadowwisher. I really, would like to see her finish this thing out, but Moon, good lord, Dark Moon is correct. We should go on ahead and start wrapping this up. So, Syraniss, are you still there? Do you have any final thoughts about tonight?
I sure am. I'm just thankful for that Ruse staff and that Cure 4 staff, because without those, Topher would have just knocked me out.
No.
That Ruse staff and that Cure 4 blade, those were the lifesavers of this seed.
Well,
Guda, you are our Platypus Supreme. You have won this whole tournament. I know you were sitting there with me back when we were chatting about this offline last couple days. Both of us just want to make it into the top 8, and then anything beyond that was gravy. Do you have any final thoughts about this now that you've managed to win the tournament? I'm pretty sure you weren't expecting to win.
Oh, I was absolutely not expecting to win. There's so many good racers, especially in the Ducks. And I've been super busy in real life, so I didn't even get a chance to try these day 3 seeds. I'm just hoping that my Chaos OSV practice paid off, and apparently it did.
It did. Well done.
Yeah. When Syraniss and Shadowwisher finished 1st and 2nd yesterday, I was like, well, crud. Caleb and Cheese are going to be right behind them, so I better just go. And yeah, I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants this whole time, and I'm really glad that I stuck it out and was able to make all the races, and this was a ton of fun. I can't wait for a Platypus Derby if we can have one. And then I get to get destroyed by Thunder and Dang and Greg and...
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a Platypus playoff at some point in time. Don't you worry. We're
Yeah,
looking maybe like right at the first of the year, but we hadn't really set anything up or even talked to the PMs about when we're going to make that happen. But it's going to be invitational. It's going to be us platypuses and platypi, exactly. And platypus playoff.
But as I said last night, being a platypus, it's been a lifelong dream for the last 6 months that I've been playing this game.
And now you're the Duckling Supreme, so that's even better.
Yeah.
Duckling Supreme. So I don't know what that gives me, but it probably a new color on Discord. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
That'll be awesome.
I'd be super
You'll have
stoked
a
about that.
Sure, it means you come with sour cream.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Wait, what?
Yeah, sour cream, tomatoes, a little bit of lettuce, some cheese, nice crunchy shell. It's so tasty.
Yeah, Thundercloud pointing out the obvious that he's still a duckling until he... I'm sorry, you might get the honorary platypus hood since you're kind of good.
And
Yep.
and you were on the team called the Graduates. I mean,
Yeah, you guys destroyed at the OSV, so
Yeah,
So-
we got robbed at the end. We got robbed.
So with that, I want to thank Mr. Broadstone, our SG representative, who's been helping us run here and behind the scenes. Of course, Cinema B and Dang Wu for his part when he was helping out. We had, who was the third person who was here with us?
C Grifter.
C Grifter, yes. You can make sure you give all of our crew a follow. Make sure you give our runners, CheezinatorHS, Shadowwisher, Syraniss, and Guda a follow on Twitch. Of course, Gregory Puff, who's been running off and on with me through this whole thing, and I'm Darkling EX. Thanks to Speed Gaming for doing this. Tomorrow, if you are interested, the Total Chaos 4 tournament is going to be going on. The PSP remake of Final Fantasy will be run there. That is 9 p.m. On TBD as they figure out which of the Speed Gaming channels that will be on. So make sure to check that out for them. And then this Friday, we will have our continuing match between Dang Wu and Caleb for our Road to SG Live leading up to that marathon at the end of October. Gregory, you got anything else for us?
I mean, we just got our 2 weeklies. The community centers has the weekly p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time on Monday nights on the Randomania family of network something, whatever I'm trying to say. And then, of course, we're still doing the Tuesdays for the time being, just either Duckling showcases or something a little bit more exciting at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time every Tuesday night on the Speed Gaming family of networks. Guys, it's been awesome. I'm really happy that Dark Moon and I were able to put this tournament together for the newer players. We got to see people like Guda, Syraniss, Cheezinator, Shadowwisher, and all the other Ducklings become platypi, and of course crown our new Duckling Supreme. Thank you, Speed Gaming, for having us, and of course our trackers, Dang Wu, C Grifter, and Cinema B, and my commentary partner, Dark Moon. Everyone, have a great rest of your night. I hate the fact that we couldn't finish Shadowwisher's race, but like we said before, we've been at it for a little over 3 hours now, and Speed Gaming kind of needs this channel back. So have a good one. Thank you again.
And don't let the iron goals get you down. We will see you guys here again on Friday.